waiting to see if we are live. Okay, seems we are.
Nice.
Just doing final checks. Yes.
Nice.
Okay, so we're live. Mikita, just an introduction. I'm Luna from Spain, from LUNATICOIN podcast, and we are gonna be having here a live desk from BTC++ conference in Riga, Privacy Edition.
Yeah.
And Mikita, you're gonna be talking. Are you talking today or you're talking tomorrow?
No, I will talk tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
And I capture you here in the hall. Now it's quite quiet, but I
Yes.
believe it's gonna be noisy as hell in a bit, which
Yeah.
is nice, and it's gonna give this atmosphere of a conference that we all love, and that's why we keep on coming. But I capture you here because before coming, I was checking all the talks, and my eyes got caught in the description of your talk, because as I was saying before, I had some ideas in my head about, how can I do this? And then basically it's more or less what you are doing. So first of all, I want to ask you if you can talk a little bit about you. What do you do and what are you here to talk about?
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Luna. So I'm Mikita and I work at BitCredit protocol. I'm technical guy, so will be a lot of technical insights and deep dives. And here I would like to talk about privacy issues in BitCredit protocol, because initially it's BTC++ about privacy. So I thought that it will be a very nice idea to talk about how BitCredit protocol works from technical perspective, how our anon mode works, how we initially give people and companies option to perform business operation without de-anonymizing.
Okay, let's start from the beginning.
Yes.
First time I read about BitCredit was in the description of your talk.
Okay.
So,
Yes.
what is BitCredit? What does it allow us or companies to do?
Yes, yes. Okay, so our main goal as a BitCredit protocol to orange build businesses, to orange build companies, to give companies option to use Bitcoin in his daily operations. And what we are doing in BitCredit, initially we do bill of exchange backed in Bitcoin for B2B companies.
Okay.
This means if you have a real company means that you need to produce real goods. It's very important because we follow in BitCredit Austrian economy rules. And in Austrian economy, it's clear says that if you would like to have a bill of exchange, it must be backed by real value. And what we are initially doing, we have companies, and we give this companies option to sign bill of exchange denominated in Bitcoin.
Okay.
So, for example, and then you can also perform different action with this bill of exchange that is all legally cleared, like endorsement of bill of exchange, selling bill of exchange, minting bill of exchange, accepting, etc.
Okay.
So this is first part of BitCredit protocol.
Okay, I'll stop you here. So we're both Bitcoin companies, let's say. I earn in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You earn in Bitcoin.
Yes.
Why, if I have Bitcoin already in self-custody,
Yep.
lining on-chain, you name it, why would I use BitCredit and these bills of exchange? Is gonna be replicating the banking system in the way that I'll pay you in the future this amount of Bitcoin, but I'm not paying you now. I'm just giving you this bill of exchange
Yep.
that entitles you to this amount of sats, but I'm not giving to you right now. Is it gonna be, it's for this kind of use cases or for which?
One of use cases is exactly what you talk about, and a very easy way to think about it. Let's imagine that you are juice productor, and I'm a factory that produce banana. And
Okay.
at first, you need banana to produce juice, and only after selling your juice, you will get profit to pay.
Okay.
And for this reason, currently companies must go in banks. They must take credits. And I will show in my presentation now statistic is very bad. A lot of companies debanked, a lot of companies can get credit for their business, etc. And in this way exists bill of exchange. It's very proved financial instrument. So you, as a juice producer, go to me and tell me, hey, look, I will sign a bill of exchange with you for, let's imagine, 1 Bitcoin that I will pay you in 1 month. And I get this bill of exchange from you, and I give you bananas immediately. So you have initially resource to make your business, to produce your juice, and I have from you bill of exchange that I can hold and get 1 Bitcoin from you in 3 months, let's imagine, or I can sell it in a bill trade marker, or I can even mint this for credit e-cash, and with this credit e-cash I can pay to my suppliers, I can pay to my workers. So initially I can increase velocity of Satoshi that I will get from this bill of exchange.
Okay, but this bill of exchange that you issue in order to start your business is backed by?
It's backed by banana.
Only.
It's backed by banana.
By the promise, by banana now, because it's a banana business, but it's by the promise that in 1 month, 1 year, whenever, you will give 1 Bitcoin.
Yes, but this is not only, this is legal promise, because we are binding to a Geneva Bill of Exchange law.
Okay.
So this is Bill of Exchange denominated in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is still in some way a legal tender in El Salvador. So with a new UK law about digital bills of exchange, with this Geneva law about bill of exchange, and with this denomination Bitcoin in El Salvador, we can sign a legal bill of exchange that you really must pay me in 1 month.
And denominated in Bitcoin.
Yes.
Which is scary.
Currently, yes, because currently Bitcoin is very unstable. Currently Bitcoin is unstable, and this is exactly what we try to do with our protocol. We try to back Bitcoin by a real economy. We try to back Bitcoin by real businesses who will use this in a daily basis, and in this way Bitcoin can come to his native purchasing power, like was with gold in gold ages, when gold was only story of value. Gold was also very unstable. Price go up and go down, go up and go down. But then, when in the past banks, free banking, start to use gold as initially medium of exchange, and gold was M0 money law, and from this M0 money law we had a banknote backed in gold, M1. Then gold, purchasing power of gold was stable for 300 years. And then when we started to use fiat, gold again started to jump down, up. So yeah, initially we see here Bitcoin as a very, very good gold, very, very good M0 level. And if we can see how economy works, we will see that initially using this Bitcoin and bill of exchange in a company's operation can help Bitcoin to stabilize, because it will have real purchasing power.
Yeah, which is in this time of Bitcoin treasuries, it's at least nice to see some usage of Bitcoin in real economy. But I wonder, is it live? Are some companies that you're working with using it already, or they are interested in using it?
Yes.
What can you tell me about real world usage?
Yes. So now we are focusing on country with a real bad economical situation. Like Turkey, for example, where you have a very, very big inflation, and where people really scary to use Turkish lira. And then in Turkey we already have a few pilot customers who testing our software and who uses it with a small amount in their daily operations. And we have also few other beta customers along the world, and the main some in US, some in UK, some in Madeira. And the main interesting part is that we have not only companies that were involved in Bitcoin, like like CEO was a Bitcoiner guy or CFO was a Bitcoiner guy, but we have a real company that never touched Bitcoin before.
So they see this BitCredit protocol as a way of just financing themselves
Yes.
and starting.
Yes, without any KYC to banks, without any problem with fiat money. Yes, they really see this BitCredit protocol as a way to do business.
But tell me more about this KYC. I'm interested in that. So you are not legally obligated that this or these parties are not legally obligated to KYC themselves, or because it's peer-to-peer, or how does it go?
Okay, I can explain. But I need to start a little bit
Okay.
early.
Okay.
We have different levels of, I would like to say, of de-anonymizing in our system. First level called anon. For anon, you don't need to do anything. You even don't need to give your real name. You can just put some nickname like MT, Mikita,
Okay.
and that's all. But with anon mode, you can only get money. So you can
Okay.
only be payee, or you can, for example, only endorse bill of exchange, but you cannot sign bill of exchange of your own name. You can only get this. And this called bearer bill. In economy, this called bearer bill. So bill to the order of bearer.
Okay, what would be an example of this? Like if I want to be full anon,
Yes.
and then I'm receiving why I'm receiving. Is it because I am financing it, or how?
Okay, let's imagine that you are some company or some person that don't want to be toxic.
Okay.
For example, some freelance guy who write code and who don't want to be toxic. And I'm a company with a legal face, and I have a normal company identity in our system.
Okay.
And then I sign bill of exchange to bearer and just indicate your node ID in our system. In this case, you will get this bill of exchange where I am obligated to pay you, but you in this case is really a non. I know only your node ID.
I understand.
Yes.
So it's like a check, no?
Yes.
That is to the better of the
To the
instrument.
bearer, exactly.
It's not to a name, but is
Exactly.
okay.
Exactly,
And then you,
exactly.
as a company, you're issuing this bill of exchange to the bearer. That is me.
Yes.
I want to be not docs, as you say. I
Yes.
want to be anon.
Yes.
So, and then I have this promise
Yes.
from you.
Yes.
And what happens when this promise comes to term?
Yes.
There will be a moment that I will get something in exchange, no? Because
Yes.
as you said, this is a freelance, so probably this bill of exchange is kind of a promise that, yeah, when I receive this service, I will pay
Yes.
you 10 million sats, whatever.
Yes.
So there is a moment of,
Yes. So initially you ask about how payment going on, if I'm correct.
yeah, how do you avoid, like in this situation in particular, KYC? Because I believe that there will be a moment of KYC at the end of the tunnel.
No.
No.
Because initially, how this will work in system, you just need, when maturity date is here, me as a company, by legal reason, has only 2 working days, 2 business days to pay you. So initially, as soon as you see maturity date is on, you send me request to pay.
Okay.
It doesn't consist any of your data again.
Okay.
And you send me request to pay with identical address to pay only for you. Currently it's only on chain, but we would like to add also Lightning in future releases. And I see this identical address to pay that only you control. And if you are interested, I can talk how we generate this address to pay, because it's very interesting way.
Okay.
And I just send Bitcoin to this address, and you and every participant of bill, if for example before you it was some endorsement to other guys,
Okay.
can see that currently bill is paid. And that's all. If I not pay, then you can do 2 options. First option, you can initiate recourse, again legal operation, and some of previous holder who was not a non, for example, if I endorse bill before you,
Okay.
you can ask recourse and this guy must pay you, because again it's legal, obligatory from them to pay you.
But that would be in case that this bill of exchange was issued to another person, and then this person sell it to you?
Yes, this is in this case.
And then you can recourse against the first owner of the bill of exchange.
Yes, yes, you can ask, in recurse, you can ask every holder before you.
Okay.
Every holder before you can ask.
But these holders are gonna ask the company at some point, no? You
This-
can go up the ladder, but
Yes, yes. So initially, that's why this costs recourse, because in the end, you will come to a first initial pay year. In this case, it will be my company. And then these people who will be last holder and need to ask already me, then if I don't pay, he can go with this bill of exchange in core
okay.
and ask
So
to pay.
first system is
Yeah.
recourse,
Yes.
which is kind of an arbitration between parties without getting to court. And
Yes.
then second is the last, the end game
Yes.
that is court and a
Yes.
legal system.
Yes, initially yes. So the same like was in the free banking days in Scotland. If company don't pay, but initially it's very bad because if you don't pay, whole system will know that you are dishonored.
How, when you say whole system will know, how is this? Is there how people would know that you are a bad payer?
So currently we are implementing this, but we use Nostr protocol and we use some relays that will deliver and provide this information. So you will have proof that this node ID with this pub key doesn't pay, and in this case, everybody who connected somehow with this node ID, with this pub key, can check if was any issues with this node ID. And if it was, this means that it's dishonored, and this means that it's very bad. In the past, people shooted himself if they were dishonored.
What is the binding between I didn't know that you're using the Nostr protocol. This is great. What is the connection between Nostr identity and company identity? Is there, I'm missing a word here, but it's kind of like a server or something that you get this npop belongs to this company, and this company is a legal issuer. This company may be KYC'd, and
Yes.
we're sure that this company is this company. It's not a,
Yes.
a scammer
Yes.
pretending to be.
Yes. So you have, when you register in your system as a person or as a company, K1, and then from this keeper you deterministically get your npop.
Okay.
And in this case, we have currently in system, we are working on some kind of proof identity button. We are working now with a legal team, but our current idea and our current vision for implementation of this way, how to prove it, and from legal point of view, it looks like it can be achieved. You need to just sign some transaction from some social account that is controlled by this company. For example, some X or even some Nostr. And in this case, when you will register in BitCredit,
Maybe because they are saying that they are not hearing us very good, so maybe you can
like this.
Yeah. And
Okay, I'll try.
And louder.
Yes.
Let's see.
Yes.
Let's
thanks.
try it.
So yes. So currently it's not in system. It's not in protocol, but it's already in GitHub tasks. So you will need to post some special hash in your social media.
Okay.
In first version, we will, I think, just use LinkedIn because every company has a LinkedIn account.
Okay.
And this is enough in court to prove that this npop, this node ID in BitCredit system relate to this company.
Okay.
So in this way,
so you're trying to make it as as decentralized as possible,
Yes.
Touching the minimum as possible the legal system and the legal or the legacy, I would say, institutions
Yes.
to
Yes.
identify one party. But what it worries me a bit is this, that the end game is going to the legal system. So the scary part is if you trust one of these bill of exchanges, you are trusting proper verification, because there is you don't have any kind of system of Bitcoin warranty somehow like this. there is an entity who is issuing bills of exchange that is using a locked amount of Bitcoin as a warranty, as a collateral, so that if it doesn't act properly, if it doesn't fulfill his word, that then the receiver of this unpaid bill of exchange can go and claim this reward. You don't have something like that?
No, we don't have something like this because this can be achieved from technical point of view.
Okay.
But from economical point of view, it will be not enough for businesses, and it probably don't work. It probably don't work from economical point of view to have this big claim with bitcoins what you can take. And yes, about legacy stuff, about legal stuff that you asked me, yes, we touch a little bit, but we touch only this Geneva Bill of Exchange law converse.
Okay.
That is already, it was done in end of 19th century, and
Okay.
people tell that it's only one initially real perfect law that exists in the world.
Oh,
So yes, we touch a little bit.
there is some challenges. I'm gonna
Yes.
do something. I'm gonna try to fix or to make our audio louder from there. So just need 1 minute, and I'll ask the chat if it's getting fixed or not, and then we'll see, and we can
Yep.
continue because I'll explain you why I thought about eCash for.
Yeah, I can talk about the cash party.
Okay. Okay. So 1 second. This is live, and this is the kind of things that happen in life. I don't know if I made it better or if it's still sounding low. I will check in the other channel. Give me a second. This is like a hackathon, but in media. It's being
Yeah.
done live. Okay. Why is not this? 1 second. It's quiet. Yes, trying to hear the same problem. How is it now? Is anybody here that can help us? I can hear it. It's not very loud, but should be. Okay, they say it's okay.
Okay.
So I'll explain you.
Yes.
And maybe you can tell me if it can be of any help, this bit credit protocol. But I was thinking that I love that you mentioned the Scotland free banking era. I love that period. I studied it very well, and from there I got to learn how people was starting to compound and to issue from an asset and to issue a bill of exchange, and then how to create more paper on top of other paper. And I'm not talking here about fractional reserve or anything like that. I'm just talking about using promises as a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
And I'm very interested in that. So I see Claudia. Claudia, after you can join us, but yeah, okay. So, and then I'm also really interested in using Bitcoin as a collateral in Bitcoin loans. And then I thought, okay, sometimes I get into a Bitcoin loan and I get it for 1 year in protocols or in pages like HODL HODL. And then I say, okay, I would love to maybe get out now. Maybe I'm the lender.
Yeah.
I would love to have a bill of exchange and to be able to sell that debt to someone else.
Yep.
So to create a secondary market of Bitcoin credits. And then I know that this in other chains like Ethereum and so on, yeah, the people are doing this kind of system, but in Bitcoin, yeah, we're more limited. And then I thought, okay, maybe eCash can help here. Can it?
Yes, it can. It can.
How it would be?
So I start here. First of all, you can just sell your bill of exchange. You can sell this to a standard debit Bitcoin. You can just sell it to another company who would like to take your risk and give you Bitcoin immediately. For example, you have bill of exchange for 1 Bitcoin, and then you sell it to another company for 0.99 Bitcoin, and they immediately transfer it to you by Lightning or by on-chain.
Okay.
This is first way. And now about the cash.
Okay.
Now about the cash. So initially, we have in our protocol a wildcat part. Why wildcat? Because in England, free banking called wildcat.
So wildcats were the banks that were a bit like unregulated in a way, and they were just issuing paper.
Yes, yes. Initially, it's regulated, first of all, by game theory.
Yeah.
Second one, by profit, because bank business is the most profitable business in the world. Nobody want to risk to lose profit. And the last one, I think it's even more important, by your reputation. Because if you're a reputed bank, people go to you and you have your profit. And if you will lose your reputation, you are dead. So yes, this is why it's called wildcat. And how we implemented this in our system? In our system, everybody can run a wildcat. And what this wildcat will do? Wildcat will mint bill of exchange for you. So you choose your wildcat, like in the past you chose your free bank.
Okay.
You send this bill of exchange. You send this in a very good cryptographical way. Then a wildcat operator can check this bill of exchange, some data. But of course you don't leak private keys that been to this bill of exchange.
Okay.
And then a wildcat can put you some rate for this bill of exchange, send it to you, and if you accept it, you transfer this bill of exchange to wildcat, and you get back eCash. But you get back in our system not standard cash, you debit cash, but you get credit cash.
And what is that?
So credit cash
Is your own eCash?
from technical point of view, it's standard cash eCash, but it cannot be melded before bill will be paid.
Okay.
So it can circulate in ecosystem like standard cash, like you can pay to it, you can pay in merchant for it, you can do whatever you
But it
want.
cannot be redeemed.
But it cannot be redeemed before bill is paid. Yes, so this is one of rules of hard credit money by Austrian economics. Credit money, and in Austrian economics, credit money mean future money. Because now word credit is very bad because of our bank system. But in Austrian economy, credit means future.
Okay.
So to redeem credit money to debit money, you need to have collateral of asset, like in the past gold,
Yes.
in our system Bitcoin, on this address. And as soon as this bill will be paid, this credit cash will be automatically redeemed to debit cash.
This is very interesting. So it is kind of vested in a way. So you cannot redeem it until it's paid, and this wildcat would work as they would discount you the paper. So you have
Yes.
you loan, you're gonna earn this amount of percentage, let's say a 10% in a year. So you can sell this future payment to get the money now.
Yes.
And then maybe the wildcat will ask you for a 4%, okay, or a 6%, okay, and then you accept it, and you get the whole principal of the loan plus this 4% that you accepted to receive, but you only receive eCash from inside the system until it is repaid. So it's kind of like, you discount it, but you don't discount it for the full potential of having like a regular Bitcoin, but you have this closed cashew credit.
Yes, our goal and our vision that in future, when we will have Bitcoin fully circulate economy, people will use this cash in a daily basis.
Okay.
They will pay it like you pay with your card. You pay this in merchant, you pay this in shops, in cafes, and Bitcoin.
But
as
this
yep,
will not be this would be your e-cash, your.
this will be yes.
But this is a little bit complicated with the network effect. It's already complicated for Cashew, so
Yes, it's true. It's true, but again, situation will be very similar to gold. To transfer in the past, you had this initially
yeah, but I
created
mean your
banknotes.
specific
Yes.
e-cash, like
Yes,
your
our
specific one.
Yes, initially we will have wildcat notes that will accept credit cash from BitCredit and standard debit cash. So yes, this is true. If some node operators would like to implement supporting for credit cash, be my guests. So yes.
Okay, so it was a very interesting talk.
Yeah, thanks the same.
Yeah, and I love that these kind of ideas are appearing. I believe that this is a field that we have to all bring new ideas and more technical ideas, because the concept is known. The concept is old
Yeah.
as the Scottish
Yeah,
banking
prove it
system.
by time. Yeah.
Yeah, so we only need the technical solutions that match that we're able to give this security, extra security to the receiver of this bill of exchanges.
Yep.
And then yeah, just find a system that we can use in or advance this money, because this is what is this credit is
Yep.
money from the future, but not backed by air, which
Yes.
we are used to now.
Yes.
This is fully backed. It's only that is waiting for the money to arrive, and you want to advance it. That's why
Yep.
you pay some interest.
Yes, and it fully backed by real goods. If Bitcoin is backed by computer power, credit Bitcoin is backed by real goods. So it's the same proof of work, but not just computer power, but real goods, like banana in our case.
Yes. Great. So I'm looking forward to listen to your talk.
Yeah, thanks.
And it was great to meet you.
Thank you the same. Thanks.
So now we're gonna be talking with Claudia from NIM, and also I'm gonna be trying to fix this audio to try to make it louder, and so that people can listen better and don't have to max out their computer. And let's see. So give me a moment here. Okay. So when it's I'm reading that when it's when you max out your volume, you can hear it great. This is great. I'm nevertheless gonna try to make it louder, or I'm just gonna ask people to scream. Okay, I'm gonna go for Claudia. Claudia there. Claudia, it's your time to shine. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Last check. Oh, maybe it's better now. Check, check, check. I don't know. Ready? You can sit and make yourself comfortable. I'm trying to fix some technicalities here. Mm-hmm. Okay, whatever. Let's see. We'll try like that. This is your mic, Claudia.
Big one.
It's a big one, but inside is the same. It's only that it's easier to handle.
Okay.
So, Claudia,
Hello. Hello again.
long time no talk on a show.
On the show, yeah.
In person, we met not long ago in Barcelona.
Just
Month and a half ago?
Month and a half ago, yeah.
Something like that, 2 months. You just had the talk.
I just had a talk, yeah.
Yeah, for whoever is watching, and of course we have an amazing banner here. But we are in Bitcoin Plus Plus in Privacy Edition in Riga, and you just had a talk about
Network privacy.
okay.
So basically, this is based on some research that we did like a couple of years ago that looks into the privacy of Lightning Network and Dandelion, which is a system for anonymizing the Bitcoin transactions.
Which is
I don't think it's in production,
no.
but it's an idea that was proposed, and at some point I think it was being considered. For
Yeah, just for you to know, people is happy if you are loud, so you can be pissed at me and trying to be very loud about your ideas, because apparently mics are not working as they should.
Okay.
So, and yes, Dandelion is one of these things, I believe. I don't want to be wrong on this, but from the top of my head, I believe that this some altcoins implemented this idea.
Yeah.
It was thought for Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't use it.
Yeah.
But
the idea is out there.
It's out there.
Yeah, and there is a couple of papers. And
okay.
So the design is very well specified.
Okay.
So yeah, we basically in this research project we asked the question: okay, if you have some nodes that are malicious, right, either in Lightning or in Dandelion. So some of the peers, some of the nodes are adversarial, and they are working with each other to try to de-anonymize transactions, right? So basically what these adversaries do is that they see a transaction because they are forwarding it, right? And then the question is, who originated this transaction, right? And both Dandelion and Lightning try to provide privacy properties where, given that a node observes a transaction, it cannot tell who was the originator, right?
Yes.
So this is the goal.
Yeah.
And we show in this research that actually this goal is not very well achieved by either of the two systems. Lightning in particular is pretty bad.
So you can figure out where
you can figure out in many cases who is talking to, who is transacting with whom. Yes. So the issue is that you have a graph that is not fully connected. Not every peer is connected to every other peer, right? So every peer has just a small set of connections. So there is a restricted graph, right? This is one element. Then the next element is that when people are routing a transaction via intermediaries, they want the cheapest path. So they are not going to go all around the network, 20 hops to get to their destination, right? They are going to try to have the more direct path. Sometimes it's not one, you can have a small number of them, maybe 3, 5 of them, right? And the thing is that as adversary, I can see my predecessor in the path, I can see my successor in the path, I know the graph structure, I can compute the shortest paths, and then I can ask the question, given that I receive something from my predecessor going to my successor, who are the possible originators and who are the possible receivers? And what we find is that this is not a big number, right?
Okay.
So for example, we show in the some of the results in the paper, we show that an adversary that controls the top 1% degree of nodes in Lightning, so that would mean, so for example, if you have 10,000 nodes, that would mean the 10 top nodes by degree, right? If you control that, you intercept currently, this was actually a couple of years ago, so we haven't rerun it in an updated graph, but I don't think it has gotten better because we did longitudinal analysis, and from 2018 to 2021, it just got worse. So this 1% can intercept like 99% of transactions. They will go through them because of they are big hubs, right? So a lot of they are become intermediaries in many transactions. And for half of those transactions, they can tell exactly who the originator was.
And it doesn't matter how many hops before these big hubs
The problem is that it will not happen many hops before. That's the issue, right? Because people are trying to find the shortest paths. And if you're a big hub and you have many of these little satellites, they don't have a lot of other connections, right? If something comes from them and goes somewhere else, chances are that they are the originator, right?
And this was in the last metrics were from 21.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, because the work is from 22.
Okay.
And then got published in 23. So, but we did the analysis from 2018 to 2021 every year, and every year got worse
And
because of the centralization.
yeah.
But I have to say, centralization really makes a big problem out of interception rate, right? So because of centralization, these top degree nodes, they can see 99% of transactions. This is because of centralization, because everybody is going through them,
Yes.
because they are the big hubs,
Yes.
right? So this is the problem. Now, the problem of the anonymization is not just decentralization, because we also did tests saying, okay, what if instead of the current Lightning graph that is out there, what if we had a random graph, right? Random graph is a graph where all the nodes have more or less the same degree, right? You don't have big hubs and small hubs. You just have, everybody has 5 or 10 connections, and they're all more or less the same size in terms of connections, right? So in those cases, the adversary intercepts a much smaller fraction of transactions because you don't have this big hub that everything is going through. But when they see a transaction, they can pretty well determine who is originating it, right?
This is not very optimistic.
It's not very optimistic, and I have even worse news,
Okay.
which is that I don't know how it can be solved. I think this is a big problem that is inherent to the way routing is happening in the systems. Ideally, what you want to have is a system where if you have 1,000 participants and you see a transaction, any of the 1,000 is equally likely to be the originator of the transaction, right? This is what you want in an ideal system.
Mm-hmm.
But the way the systems are constructed with a graph that has restricted routes and restrictions on the path length, it just does not provide you with this information, because of all the 1,000 nodes, only a very small number are going to be in the region of the graph where the transaction is coming from. You see what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I'm saying that is not very optimistic because it's aside of not being fixable, maybe you can make it a bit better if you encourage more decentralization.
More decentralization, longer paths.
Which people doesn't want because they are
more expensive and more failures and all of that. And even that, it will not buy you too much.
No. And problem is that lately
I was thinking what could be something that really works, right? And I ended up coming up with something a bit like the structure that we have in our system for the mixnet, right? Which is that you would have a set of intermediaries that are, for example, all of them connected in layers. So you have, for example, 100 that are connected to 100 of the next, and then those are all connected to the 100 of the next, and then all the paths are possible, right? And then you have clients choosing paths randomly in this, and then you have all these paths that are kind of equally likely. So, for example, if my successor, if I am the client, I'm the originator, right? I choose randomly one of successors, so I would have, let's say, 100 to choose from, right? And then I choose 100 of the next ones. And this choice doesn't tell anything to the first one, because any other person besides me would make the same kind of probabilistic choices, right?
So you're hiding between groups of hundreds that are jumping to other groups of hundreds.
Yes,
so the anon set starts to grow.
But then it would also not be like a peer-to-peer thing, because if these ones in the 100 are themselves originating, they would not have the same properties as the clients that are going through. So it's a hard one. I mean, I haven't sat down and really think how we could do this differently. I don't think, even if I come up with something, it's not going to be practical, because these channels are made between people that kind of have a relation with each other, that trust each other, that want to transact with each other, right? They are not just made in an algorithmic manner that I don't care who I connect to. Like, I want to have channels with other peers that I, for some reason, want to, connect with,
Yeah, I'm thinking that
it's a very tough one. I mean, I can give you some other problems that are easier to solve.
Okay, before we jump into that, some context, because 2021 was the year, I believe, this is from feeling, gut feeling, so I don't have the metrics on that, but I believe Lightning was exploding in that time, and there was a lot of communities to create, to get liquidity and to open channels and so on. So, and it was really peer-to-peer in a way. There were big players, of course, but it was there was a lot of peer-to-peer Lightning Network. Since then, it has been going worse, and LSPs are kings now. So the Lightning or liquidity service providers are huge now, and a lot of people who's using Lightning is saying, "Oh, there is no failures." Yes, the protocol got better. That's true, but I believe that there is less failures because, first of all, most of the people is using custodial wallets, wallet of Satoshis and so on. So there is no privacy there, and also a lot of people is using liquidity service providers. So again, big players becoming bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you that because we were looking at snapshots from 2018 to 2021.
Yeah.
This process was already ongoing at the time.
Yeah.
So it's not like 21 is more centralized than 20, and 20 is more centralized than 19, and 19 is more centralized. So it's not like it was decentralizing and then it turned, and then it kind of changed. I think this has been the trend all along, at least since 2018 when we were looking at the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, but maybe the solution is, first of all, to know it, to be aware of it. Don't believe that Lightning is the bullet, the silver bullet for privacy.
Yep.
It is for sure better than on-chain.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But maybe not for everyone. If you're a big player and you have a big LSP, maybe you have
I mean, you have ways, right? Like if I am a peer, and I really want to
go on.
I really want to transact without any intermediaries being able to infer who I'm transacting with, then I can just have a channel to these other participants I'm transacting with, so I don't have any intermediaries, right? So this is only a problem if you're relaying over others.
I'm doing some testing. I'm doing not Lightning testing, but I'm doing some audio testing. So, okay, now I want this. We are in the 0 phase. Okay, this is a live testing. Okay, I want the people on the live stream to tell me if it's better than before, or if it got worse. Then I'm learning how to use
like
this.
Self-reinforcement.
Yes. I'm proving. You know.
Is this the right path?
Is it the right
Should
path?
I go further?
No. Okay, back. So now we are in the 0 phase because I don't know what I clicked in this mic and I got to a 0 plus 0. Then I will try to change things and see if I can make it better. And if they are saying us to make it the mics closer. Okay, now I will make it.
I'm gonna be eating this mic.
Eat it. Go for it. I'm gonna have this little rat here next to me. Let's see. We're in the 0. Let's see if it gets better. Okay. So this is about. In the end, also what I wanted to say is that if you're gonna have an economic relationship with someone, very stable. It can be a business partner. It can be a customer that keeps on coming.
Yeah.
You can open a direct channel with that person.
And then you don't have this problem.
And then it's fully private.
Yeah.
Then nobody is seeing. I mean, okay.
Let me take you to the other.
Okay, take me to the.
That is the opening for the next thing. So then you really cut off these intermediaries. So if there are no intermediaries, you don't have to worry about malicious intermediaries because there are none, right? So that problem is out.
Yes, intermediaries out.
However, there is 2 other issues that I mentioned in my talk as well. So one of them is that when you have a direct channel to someone, maybe you want to reveal to them your kind of payment identity, right? Your key, because they have to authenticate that.
Your node ID.
Your node ID, right? But this is a logical ID, right? The thing is that if you have a direct connection, just plain connection, then they can link this node ID with your IP address, right?
Yes.
So now you're kind of providing this linkage between a logical identity and a network identity. The network identity might be revealing of your location, for example.
Yes.
If you're doing this from home, for example, right?
So a cryptographic identity to a geographical identity.
To a network identity, IP address, right? So that's a problem we can solve.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a problem we can solve. You can have a VPN, you can use Tor hidden services, you can use...
In fact, a lot of the Lightning nodes are behind Tor.
Yes, so this was apparently an explosion in number at some point, but then that's what I was reading about this, and there was at some point it became very popular, and then it kind of declined.
I believe there is two kind of
they were never very connected nodes, so they were kind of very small.
They are the leaf ones. They are the ones on the outside
so they didn't make a big difference in that. I mean, they make a difference for themselves, but they don't.
Yeah. What I think that everybody understood is that if you want to be a routing node and you want to earn some fees, you go ClearNet. Otherwise, you use a BPS or something like that.
Otherwise, it's complicated. It's not compatible for everyone. Not everyone is compatible. Like not.
You have a lot of failures due to Tor network.
No, and also that some of the ClearNet nodes are not. They don't have the capability to talk to the hidden service. You need to have a dual.
Yeah.
Which I believe that now increasingly a number of them are a dual.
Okay, so we have an intermediary thread that is hard to solve if you are in the open big Lightning network.
The thread of who is the originator of this transaction, when I'm routing it through other nodes in Lightning, this is very hard to prevent.
Unfixable in a way.
It's very hard. It's very, very hard. So these intermediaries that you are choosing, with a high likelihood, will be able to infer that you're transacting with your transaction partner, right? That's a very tough one. Then you have the exposure of the IP address and the linkage to the logical identity, right? Which reveals your location. That's solvable with VPN, with Tor.
Seems to be an easy one.
That's an easy one. You can put an intermediate service that kind of shields this network identity. Of course, with the VPN, if it's a centralized VPN,
you're linking to that one.
You are introducing a vantage point that if this centralized VPN is malicious, they will be able to monitor all your communications, right? Like when you're communicating, what you're receiving, what you're sending, all of that, right? The traffic, of course, is encrypted, so they cannot see the content, but they do see like the patterns of traffic, right? So that's the next threat. And then the third threat that I was talking about is the network adversary. So it can be global is kind of the NSA adversary. You can have network adversaries that are not so global, like for example ISPs, autonomous systems, internet kind of core internet infrastructure elements, right? So currently in Lightning and in Dandelion, although Dandelion is less relevant because it's not in use currently, right? But it applies to both. This network adversary is also able to see who's transacting with whom, right? Because if I am observing all the Lightning nodes, right, one of them initiates a transaction, right? So one of the nodes initiates a transaction. Okay. So I am the network adversary. I can see a pattern of packets going to somewhere else, right? And then I observe somewhere else, and I see the packets are coming in, and very quickly they're being sent to the next destination, right? And then the next, and then at some point somebody's receiving and is responding. Instead of forwarding, they are responding, and then things come back to the sender, right? So by looking at these communication patterns from the network, I'm not part of the Lightning, I'm not running any nodes, I'm just running ISPs. I would be able to tell who is transacting with whom just based on traffic analysis of like, there was a transaction pattern sent and forwarded, and then it came back, and then the protocol seems to have.
But this, because I believe first of all you have to be a huge actor. You have to be
infrastructure,
state actor.
ISPs as well. So if you are Deutsche Telekom or Telefonica, you can also do this.
But also Telefonica, there is just if we're both Spanish, so if we focus in Spain, there is more actors as ISPs, no? There is Orange, there is Vodafone.
At the same time, your communication does not only go through one ISP, often it's going through many intermediaries, right?
Okay.
Because you have your ISP, then you go to some autonomous system, then you maybe go to the other side of the planet through an internet cable undersea, right, to reach your destination. So it's not just one actor. There are many actors in the path, right? And it's enough, all of them see the same information because all of them see the from, where it's coming from, where it's going to, what's the time now, how many packets are going, right?
But can they, do they have the granularity to check in so specifically about, because it feels like these lining packages are going to be so small. Are they so fingerprintable?
They are fingerprintable, yeah. Communications are usually very fingerprintable, yeah. Unless you make an effort to make it, to disguise them, by default, they will be fingerprintable.
So they can filter them out of the huge amount of volume that they have?
Of course, you might have some false positives, but yeah, you can do that. There is an old work, actually, very interesting, from people, Stephen Murdoch, so where he looked at internet exchanges, right? This was for Tor, and he looks at internet exchanges. So internet exchanges, I think they sample like
What is an internet exchange?
So it's like these big hubs in the internet infrastructure,
okay,
where they are distributing traffic to make it arrive to the destination, right? So this is core internet infrastructure elements, right? They see a lot of traffic, and I believe he was saying they sample 1% of traffic for monitoring purposes, right? With 1% of traffic, they were able to tell, like in the experiments they did, they were able to tell Tor connections and correlate incoming and outgoing Tor connections if they were going through the same exchange through two exchanges that are collaborating, right? Just by the timing and the patterns. So it's very hard to protect network data. You have to make a big effort. And then there is all this probabilistic leakage,
It's kind of impossible in a way, unless you are peer-to-peer, like directly from me to you, and nevertheless, network, they're going to see that we are talking.
Yeah, actually, that's even worse, because then the network just see, oh, so you're talking to this, so I now have the information. You're friends with this person, right?
Are you...
I mean, of course, you have to also be realistic in the sense that, I mean, to what extent are you concerned about these threats? Maybe not everybody is concerned about these big state actor threats, and more are concerned about
Not everybody is Snowden.
Yeah. Many people might be concerned about just general security against whatever, organized crime or snooping.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. The other thing is that the attacks also require effort, right? So are they deploying them? Not. We don't know, right? Like with Snowden, we got a kind of a glimpse that the NSA, they had this giraffe, something with giraffe project that was trying to break Tor.
Okay.
This was many years ago. They were having some difficulties, but this was kind of early days. Unclear if they pursue that or not. Of course, it's not like you're just going to have it without effort. You need to log the traffic, do correlation.
Have a lot of nodes inside.
Well, if you have this internet infrastructure,
then you don't even need to be inside the network.
But you still need to filter through this data to find the things that you're interested in, right? And that can be... Of course, it's not a person doing it, it's algorithms that get tired and don't need to sleep.
Yeah. Now I'm thinking, well, also next phase in our testing is, because now people got out from talks, so we are in the, let's say, the lobby of the conference, so people is eating, and it's amazing it's really nice to be here talking to you. But I just want to know if the noise got very loud and if they are understanding us. But yeah, you just mentioned a few things. Tor, I don't know if you're aware, lately there is a lot of talk around Tor that basically, I was reading a few articles. First of all was like, big actors like NSA and so on, they are running half of the nodes in Tor network, so that maybe they would be already correlating movement from the...
How do people know that, or is that like a hypothesis?
There was some kind of investigation. Also, they are receiving, Tor is receiving a lot of complaints by privacy people. I'm really sorry because I don't remember exactly which were the terms, but that they were, let's say, it was becoming less private. And I wanted to ask you, because I didn't do the homework properly, if you were reading about them.
I mean, I don't think this is specific to Tor, right? So, I mean, in any system that relies on nodes and proxies and whatever, if you have an adversary that can take over by just creating whatever, more than half the nodes, it's going to be very hard, but it's not something about Tor, it's just something about, these systems only provide you with security when you have an honest majority, and they can tolerate some maliciousness, some malicious actors, but not if the malicious actors are a big majority, right? So that then it's very hard. Like, I don't see how.
But now is a big majority because basically they are the ones running the infrastructure. So, or the states can control the guys running the infrastructure.
Yeah, but how do you design a system that...
No. You're using their infrastructure.
Yeah, exactly.
So unless you run your own internet.
Exactly, which is, not very feasible.
No, and I'm interested because in this conference I was hearing Kale, there is this BitChat. Are you aware of this BitChat app?
Not much. I saw it mentioned and I saw it referenced, but no.
I'm opening now. I want to see if, because I don't know if something related with my phone, but before I was opening it and I was seeing no one. But it should, now I see 2, 3. Oh, this is nice, this is beautiful. I mean, we're running BitChat, and I am seeing now 11,
wow,
13.
That's a crowd.
And we are connected through Bluetooth.
Okay.
So it's a mesh network.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say hi all. And let's see if we get some answers. But yeah, this is interesting.
They're eating. I think now they are eating their potential.
I believe I'm not the only freak here about this kind of alternative infrastructures.
You're competing with the food, but
I'm competing with the food. But let's see if we get some reply. But yeah, this is.
But this is local, right? Like if you want to talk to people in your vicinity, then you have better opportunities. But if you want to talk to anyone that is anywhere in the world, you're going to have to use the big infrastructure, right? And then it's going to be very hard to...
Yes, this is true.
Like here, to infiltrate this, especially if it's Bluetooth, then you would need to send people physically or devices physically to this area, right?
Yeah, because we're talking privacy here.
Yeah.
We're not talking about to disrupt the system, which is also, I heard that to disrupt Bluetooth is quite easy, as it's this
you
radio.
Can jam it, I guess,
Yeah, exactly. The same as with Meshtastic and all this kind of radio.
No, just confidentiality, right? Like, it's a big effort. Whenever you have to send humans, that's very high cost, right?
Yes.
Like much higher cost than setting up some scripts or servers or whatever, right? Humans are the expensive part of surveillance, actually.
Yes, and that was key before public cryptography, no? Because you needed somebody to define a secret key. No, in symmetric cryptography, and that's what changed with Diffie-Hellman and so on. So yeah, we made that cost irrelevant now.
Yeah.
We can communicate privately in the content of the message.
The content is we have great solutions.
Problem is...
For content protection, we have great solutions, even solutions that resist quantum cryptography, if you want them, So content, we can protect very well, but who you talk to, that's the difficult part, right?
Yeah, as an analogy, I was hearing I'm really interested lately about these parallel infrastructures. And they have limitations, of course, but Meshtastic, for example, an easy to access and easy to build mesh network, radio mesh network that can get there is records of 200 kilometers distance communication.
That's pretty nice.
But it should be more, normally it's like 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers. And then you can create a mesh, 7 jumps, 3 jumps. So I'm interested in that. And I was reading that, of course, you can go jammed radio, but for that you need a license. And of course, when you license yourself, when you KYC and so on, that's it. But you can do... illegally use jam radio, they were saying in the video I was watching, in case of emergency, for example. But for that, you need an antenna. And the problem is that if you set up an antenna, a proper antenna, you're very easy to find. Not because the people can see it also,
it's
but
electromagnetic.
They can find you very easily.
I mean, that's the beginning of traffic analysis, right? Locating where people are emitting from.
And then it is, I was seeing that there is some antennas that are easy to assemble and disassemble fast. So assemble, send a message, and then disassemble. So
yeah, but then you send a message and you need the other guy to be with the antenna also to receive it, right?
exactly. Well, I mean, you're sending to whoever is listening, but let's say that this problem you are mentioning we have in Lightning
Yeah.
is the problem we are having since humans were capable of communicate being far from each other.
Yeah.
Starting with telegraph and
It's even worse than that. I mean, you don't even need electronic communications, right? Like, for example, it's relatively easy for you to, on the street, you go on the street, you go about your day. If I want to listen to your conversations, that's going to be hard. I have to be very close to you. I have to be either reading your lips, you can very easily...
in person. So, but you have to be in the place at least.
Yeah, I'm talking in person. Forget about technology. Yes. We're talking about very low-tech world, right?
Yeah.
So what you say is going to be relatively easy for you to protect, right? If your person you're telling it to is not then going and telling about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
However, imagine how difficult it would be for you, if I want to surveil you, for me not to know where you go in the morning, where you do your shopping, which houses you're visiting, right? I just see you walking on the street, right? I can be from a distance seeing you walking on the street. I can be following you, right, without you noticing.
Mm-hmm.
And that, if you want to protect that, that's much harder to protect than just the confidentiality of what you're telling people, right? It's
yes.
the same in the networks, right? Like, this traffic analysis is basically how things are moving in this network. So how do you protect that? You have to either have fake movement, that fake people, they look like people, but they are not people, and they are moving around, and they're confusing everyone, and then you go into houses, and you come out with a different clothing, and then I don't know, it's the same person that went in the house that came out, so I lose you, you know? You go into kind of this spy, like Cold War kind of trickery for, spies. But you see how it is much harder than simply having a private room or going to whatever, next to a waterfall and having a conversation, and then nobody can overhear the conversation.
I believe there is not the perfect scenario in person or...
because it's very hard, I mean, there's things we can do. I don't want to be defeatist either, right? It's also a question of cost, it's a question of effort, it's a question of raising the bar and making it, more expensive, more difficult, less deterministic, more... that not all the time you're going to succeed. So you can raise the bar, but saying we achieved a level that is unbreakable, like you can do with strong cryptography, that's very far at this point.
What about how this applies to on-chain? Like, because with Bitcoin on-chain, when it's not Lightning, you're not paying to a node ID.
Yeah.
You're paying to an address.
But it's all public information, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have the privacy of how much are you paying, but.
So the transaction graph is very rich in information.
I mean, they know from where to where,
From where to where.
But they don't know who is the owner.
Well,
maybe. Hopefully.
I mean, there you come again into this linkage of logical and network identity, right? Which can be done by the network layer. If the network layer sees that I'm, sending something to another Bitcoin node, and then, they can infer that I'm the one behind this key, right?
Yes.
And that this network address, unless you take measures that, in this case, involving kind of third-party systems that are providing this functionality, kind of in addition to whatever.
No, I believe that if you know a minimum of on-chain analytics. I believe in on-chain, of course, you cannot hide amounts, but if you're smart enough...
You can hide amounts, like, Zcash, for example, has options.
Yeah, but that's not on-chain.
Yeah.
I mean, when you go second layers, you can get a better privacy and Lightning and eCash and so on.
Yeah.
But on-chain, of course,
amounts,
you're losing a lot of privacy in some parts, but in other, I believe network-wise, it's easier for you to broadcast a transaction from Tor, and I don't know. I believe that you can have a better network privacy, but at the end it depends how you use your Bitcoin, which is the hard part in on-chain.
And anyway, I mean, the perfect should not be the enemy of the good. Like not the fact that we cannot achieve perfect privacy, that in every it fails, even if the world is collapsing. doesn't mean that we should try to raise the bar as much as is feasible with kind of reasonable resources, right?
Yeah.
Because it does make a difference, I believe.
Not because they know a little bit about us means that we have to go naked on the street.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, which is the hard part to tell to people, like, yeah, you should put some effort, and then people is, yeah, but it doesn't matter at the end. If they want, they know.
Yeah, but if they, it's not so easy. Yeah, I mean.
And also, lately I saw there is a new syndrome. Maybe you have
oh my God,
found
new
it.
Syndrome.
It's a new syndrome. I don't know if it really exists, but I believe it should. That is the Snowden syndrome.
Okay.
That is when somebody starts to realize these things, then they get fully blocked, because then they want to be as private as
they freak out. Yeah.
They freak out.
Yeah.
They want to be as private as Edward Snowden.
Yeah.
And so they are not properly modeling their threat model.
Yeah.
They believe the state is the threat, which is it.
I mean, if the state is your threat and they really are interested in you, that's a tough situation to be in.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be hard to protect
that
yourself, right?
Yeah, and I believe that Snowden had, like, he managed to protect himself for 2 weeks, get the hell out from there.
Yeah.
And that's it.
But I mean, he's protected. If Putin decides to give him up to...
We saw what happened with Assange before.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you're protected because someone is helping
because you have another
you have
another
somebody.
daddy.
Yeah, exactly, right? So by yourself, if everybody's looking for you, I mean, I don't know, you have to go to a cave and just, hunt to survive or something.
Yeah, and this syndrome, I'm bringing it because I believe that everybody should do as much as they can, despite it is hard. And we don't have to, of course.
We don't have to descend into paranoia. Yeah.
We are not a Snowden.
Yeah.
And not because we don't know as much as he.
I don't know. Maybe you work for the NSA.
You never know, or maybe you. Maybe you.
Maybe.
We're all spies here. But to do a minimum is good enough.
Yeah.
Just not surrender.
Raising the bar, I mean, it's like with everything, right? Like, can you prevent, for example, being robbed on the street, right? I mean, there is nothing, it's not formula that you say, okay, I can never be robbed on the street, right?
Yeah.
Or is nothing reasonable you can do that will not completely disrupt your life. However, there's things you can do to, be less, you don't show whatever gold chains, and you don't go alone at night in dangerous streets that have no lighting. I don't know, right?
Yeah.
You can kind of diminish the risk, even if you can never be 100% sure that your risk is zero. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be careful.
100%.
Right?
So yeah, at least people should get to a minimum, I believe. And with that minimum, try to
do what you can, basically.
Yeah, but at least not surrender. Don't
do what you can. Don't despair. Do the best you can.
Do not accept surveillance.
Yeah, and take the measures that can be taken to make it as hard as possible. And that's the best you can do, right? And then hopefully, we invent things that are a bit better every time.
Before I let you have breakfast, how is NIM?
NIM is good. It's good. We are debugging like crazy.
Okay.
So
is it live?
Yeah. So we launched in March. Then we added a few features.
For whoever doesn't know what is NIM, can you do
NIM is a decentralized VPN.
Okay.
So it's a decentralized VPN. Is similar to Tor but different. So the way it is similar to Tor is that you would install a client and then you're able to make connections through this, anonymizer nodes and anonymize your connections. Now, how is it different from Tor? First of all, in terms of technology, we have different transport layers, right? We have two. One is WireGuard, which is for fast connections, and the other one is a MixNet for kind of more secure, more anonymous connections. In a MixNet, every packet is routed separately.
Okay.
Every time a packet goes through a mixing node, it's delayed and mixed with other packets, so that even if you're looking at if the network adversary is looking at the inputs of this mix node and the outputs of this mix node, it's not able to tell which packet in the output corresponds to which packet in the input. Right?
Okay.
So it's forwarding, but in a way that is not obvious because it's delaying and changing the packets with a cryptographic operation. All the packets are same size, and then the order.
Which is the size?
Right now it's like 2 kilobytes.
2 kilobytes.
But the ordering, which is the key thing, is altered every time you go through an intermediary So that is what prevents the linkage of inputs to outputs, right? So that's the more secure way. There's the mixnet, and then because that's kind of slow, you're delaying every packet, right?
Okay.
We're also sending covered traffic to confuse the adversary.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's pretty secure, but of course it introduces latency, right? So it's not ideal for all kinds of use cases. It's very good for use cases that are a bit latency tolerant, like email, for example, or Bitcoin transactions, which if it takes 15 more seconds, is okay, right?
Okay.
But if your web page takes 15 more seconds loading, people are not going to use it, right? Going to switch it off,
Okay,
right?
so a Bitcoin transaction is in the ballpark of 0.1 kilobytes, so 100 bytes, or 0.2 kilobytes.
So one packet is enough.
Yeah. And then you would, if I want to use this mixnet, it would hit a node in how long? How long does it take?
Half a second to 1 second.
Half a second.
To 1 second. For one packet. But if you're doing web browsing,
forget it.
That's the delays become a problem.
In Tor, you have 3 jumps in the
but
mix.
No delay. No mixing, no delaying.
Okay.
Tor sends as fast as it gets the packet, it sends it forward.
Because the mixnet is like, it's cutting the information, and then it
treats every packet independently. In Tor, you build a circuit.
Okay.
And then all the packets go through the same circuit, right?
Understood.
Here, every packet is different path. Every packet has public key crypto on it. And then every packet is routed separately and delayed separately and all of that, right? So it's more secure, but of course at the cost of latency.
From a network perspective, does it
It's the only solution we have that can really defeat a network adversary from tracing packets, and when I'm observing input and output, I cannot tell, oh, this input is going there, right? This is the mixnets. I mean, mixnets were invented, by the way, in 82.
82.
82. So
okay.
Maybe older than many of your listeners.
Maybe. Never know.
Never know.
Yeah.
So it's not a. I mean, it's a pretty old concept. It was. It's by David Chaum, who also invented eCash.
Oh, the same.
Yeah. The same.
So
David
eCash and mixnets coming from the same guy.
It all in like a couple of years. So yeah, and yeah, it's this idea that you do this kind of private shuffles. Shuffling is not the only way to do it. You can have other mixing techniques.
I had an analogy came to my mind. I'm gonna throw it and you tell me. So this is like if all my traffic, it would be splitted like a puzzle. Yeah. So I have a picture, but then I split it in like a puzzle. Yeah. The puzzles have a kind of shape. Yeah. And then you also want to send another picture. Yeah. You also cut your image. Maybe it's bigger, but you cut it in the same size of the pieces. We put all these pictures in one bag, and then you start taking from the bag pieces out. Doesn't matter if it's your puzzle, if it's my puzzle. Yeah. It's mixed. It's there is. Yeah. It will not travel all the pieces will not travel at the same time. No.
They go through different ways. Different ways. And in every time they arrive to an intermediate stop, they stop and they get.
And what about the receiver? Because if I'm the receiver of one of these puzzles, I'm receiving. Okay, I see a corner of a picture.
You have to reassemble.
You have to wait.
Yeah.
So are receivers in normal internet ready for this latency?
No. So what not by default, because if you're sending like Sphinx packets, Sphinx is the packet format we're using, like CNN.com doesn't understand this protocol, right? Yes. So you need to have at the exit an exit node that assembles and then acts as your proxy towards clear internet or kind of normal internet resources.
So a mixnet is like a forest, very thick. Yeah. Nobody can see inside. Yeah. And nobody understands from where people is coming from when they get out.
There's like a lot of noise.
A lot of noise inside, but you get in that forest, and to get back to the clear net, you have to get out of that forest and then go as a whole.
Of course, it's even better if you're talking to somebody who's also hooked to the system, and then you don't need this entity.
You don't need to get out.
You don't need to get out. Then you just,
And it's possible. It's thought.
I mean, if for example, if you're doing private messaging and both clients are hooked to the mixnet, then.
But you have some kind of like a hidden service, or you have a standard.
Or just 2 clients.
2 clients.
You can have 2 clients talking to each other. Yeah?
Okay. And they use.
They use these paths, but they both can receive the packets, and they.
But
can
you have your own
packets.
protocol, let's say, of I suppose but the same as in ClearNet we use IPs. Yeah. In Tor we use onions.
Yeah.
Do you have some?
Yeah, Sphinx is the packet format.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sphinx.
Yeah, Sphinx is also like pre-existing technologies. Lightning.
Yes, yes.
Uses Sphinx as well.
And there was, it used to be, I mean, I don't know if it still exists.
It's a packet format that allows you to do per packet encryptions, which each packet being self-contained, that if the right intermediaries can decrypt it and route it, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it still exists. I haven't checked in a while, but it used to exist a lining app called Sphinx, and was allowing people to talk between each other through only Lightning Network. I suppose using Sphinx.
You can, I mean, you can send transactions. You can send also hello.
Yeah.
Right. So the payload is whatever it is. So
that's good.
So yeah. To go back to NIM. So yeah, we launched in March. It was very exciting, but of course, once the people that started using it, they
didn't
whatever.
get so excited.
Well, I mean, the problems come, right? Like that when the phone goes to sleep and comes back, I have to reconnect. All this kind of connectivity. So we are working very hard to fix everything and make it very stable. And then that's the priority number one, because if it's not stable, then users don't like it, right? So that's to have a user base, you need to be stable. That's the step number one. And then step number two, we want to bet very much on censorship resistance.
Okay.
So we would like to be available in China, for example, so that it's a huge market and people have big problems being able to access things that are not allowed by the firewall. So it would be great if we are able to pierce through that and enable people to have access to the internet, even in censored places. That's one of the things we want to do. There is more. I mean, we want to improve security with enclaves. I mean, there's a lot of plans that we have, but integrations with other services, right? So, for example, we're working on an integration with Celestia.
Which is?
It's another chain that does data availability.
Okay.
So basically, you take your information, you track it, you make it in chunks, and you kind of store it in a distributed way, right? So decentralized storage, basically. So these nodes, they might want to have privacy, because if I have one of these nodes and I am a light node, which doesn't have the full chain information, just a subset, and I connect to a full node, if this full node is malicious, they could kind of select which information they give to me versus which information they give to somebody else.
Okay.
So having anonymity prevents that, because now they are connected by someone, but they don't know which node it is, so they cannot tailor the responses to the identity of the node that is requesting the information, right? So that kind of improves security for the system, and that's one integration we're working on. There's a lot going on.
But important is that if people want to use NIM,
people want to use a decentralized VPN, we have one. It works.
In production?
In production.
You can buy some credits.
It's incentivized.
Okay.
It's incentivized, so that means that this is also different from Tor, that is run by volunteers, right? So in this case, the people running nodes, they get rewarded for the work, right? So this is our idea, to make it scalable, right? So that if you become more popular and you have more income, then you're also able to pay bigger infrastructure, right? So you're not limited to whatever volunteers are willing to give out of their free time and free resources, right? So it's a business model, basically, that is based on privacy, which I think is not so many...
And not an easy one.
It's not an easy one, and I don't think there's a lot of systems that can... I mean, VPNs typically do the opposite, right? They monetize your data. They monetize your data by profiling and selling it to advertisers or whatever, right? So having a VPN that has a business model that is privacy-based, I think is quite interesting.
Before you go, you open this topic.
I open a can of worms.
Yeah, because, and I see this, I did some collab in the past with some VPN, and for me there were only, at the time, 2 candidates, because it's the privacy-focused ones.
Yep.
No, the ones that, and I know that it's hard because you have to audit them, and you never know what happens when the auditor is out. So there is always a degree of trust in a VPN, But at least you can trust the ones that are really pushing the boundaries of privacy.
The reputation is on the line, at least.
At least that, you know. So for me, these are Mulvat and IVPN.
Yeah.
And but then I see a lot of influencers, and this lately it was crazy amount that they are paid by big VPNs like Surfshark and so on. So these ones are not really focused in privacy. They never mention. They mention privacy when they want to sell you the product. But they don't mention.
And privacy is a promise, right? It's a policy. We promise not to log. We promise not to sell your data, not to share it, whatever, right? But you have to trust them to do it. Like, just to be clear, like in our case, we make the software, right? The software is open source, so everybody can check it. But then we don't really run the infrastructure. So we don't have the capacity to log your traffic because we are not seeing your traffic. Other people, it's a decentralized system. So it's the people running nodes, and you're going through multiple of them, so no single one of them is able to see your information either. You would need to have like a coalition of malicious ones to start, you know, having some opportunity.
So what you said before is that how is the commercial big VPN profiling users then? Because I
have your whole traffic, right? Like I know who you are because you pay me with
you don't know what the user is sending because it's supposed to be encrypted?
Oh no, but I know that now you're going to this site and you're spending 1 hour in this site. I cannot see which page within the site you're visiting. I could probably infer it with web page fingerprinting, actually.
Okay.
But that's kind of sophisticated. I don't think they are doing that. I mean, if they want to do it, it works. But you have to make the effort to do it, right? So there's practical issues there. But I know, like, you're a person, you get up in the morning, you check your Bitcoin whatever, and then you check this blog, and then you know, I can see all your activities.
So at the end of the day, they can have like a very nice done with color-coded
I think this guy is probably interested in this and this product, so they can sell that to advertisers who can then target you, right?
So if they have 100 million users and then they know that 60 million are interested in Bitcoin, then they can sell this information.
Targeted advertising and stuff like that, And I don't need to see the content. If I just see if you're going to the New York Times, is it so important to know which specific article you're reading, or just the fact that you're a reader of the New York Times that also
they can profile your ideology in a way. And if they connect that with another website which is more left-wing,
I mean, they see everything.
Yeah.
Because you're routing, if you have a centralized VPN, you're routing all your information through them. So all your activities, they are mediating. So they see every byte you send and every byte you receive because it goes through them, right? So they can have a very, very good profile. This is why VPNs, especially free VPNs,
forget it.
The business model is information collection because they have a very good vantage point to collect all this information about their customers that is very rich for profiling purposes.
What about these new ones that are connecting two VPNs? Like one is the entry and one is the exit?
Well, so this Malvat is doing that, right? With Obscura.
With Obscura, yeah.
Is doing that. So there, I mean, it's a little bit better, but you have two organizations that have a contract. But
they can nevertheless talk.
And they have a relationship because, you know, they have probably some contracts, they meet with each other, you know, they have done this together. So, of course, they make this promise, and I'm willing to believe that they are making good on the promise, but it's still a trust-based system in the sense that if the two of them get together, they have everything again, right? So you need more decentralization than that.
Yeah, and for sure, again, in the three levels that you mentioned before, if you have a state actor really interested in knowing the information of both these companies, this state actor will get to know the information of both.
Well, I mean, you probably have, I mean, there is compulsion powers sometimes, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then the other thing is that, I mean, if I monitor all the Obscura nodes and all the Malvat nodes, just from the ISP perspective, I'm also able to do traffic analysis, right, and figure things out.
You don't even need to.
Even if I don't break into them, I might still be able to infer private information about the customers. So ideally, you want more decentralization than that, than two. I mean, two is better than one, obviously, right?
It's beautiful to talk with you, Claudia. You get after a conversation with you, you really don't feel naked at all online.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I bring the bad news.
No, it's a good call to action in modeling your threat model. Like what's your threat, and be aware how much you can protect.
It's very difficult to be aware of traffic analysis threats because it's very invisible to us. Like people think of the pictures they're uploading to Instagram and the things, the comments they're putting on X or whatever. All the content generation you're aware of. You decided to say this, you decided to upload this picture, you maybe thought, is this a good idea or not? You're aware of it. But traffic analysis is like you open your computer.
It's even happening while you're sleeping.
Absolutely, yeah. This is talking to servers, taking updates, yeah. So it's not in our awareness, right? So it's very easy to forget about it.
So we got some messages in BitChat.
Okay,
a lot even. So yeah, we got we got some Anon saying hi and saying that this is BitChat conference now. So yeah, it works. I don't know how much you can rely on whenever, if you really need this kind of communication. And I believe for meetups and conference and so on, it can be nice.
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. I mean, of course, yeah, the problem is that if you want to talk to someone specifically and they are not in range, then they will not see it. But I think like it's really nice for like kind of gatherings, physical gatherings. It's a cool app.
Claudia, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for
it was great to
me.
Catch up again.
Yeah, absolutely.
After Barcelona and after a long 5 years or 6 years we recorded.
I think maybe 2019.
2019. After 2019
before
conference.
COVID.
Before COVID. It was after the Lightning conference in October 2019.
So there you go.
So after that, I don't know if it was still in 2019. I believe so. But
we survived the plague, and
we're here.
We're here.
We survived, and we survived the surveillance. Maybe not. We don't know. But it was great to catch up, and yeah.
Likewise. Yeah.
Allow you to go eat.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some.
I don't know if
food.
they left you something.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Claudia. Okay, so I'm gonna go grab two things. Our next guest and a coffee. I hope that the sound got a bit better. I don't know, I pressed some buttons. I'm gonna do an experiment. Because the mic has this nice cover, I'm gonna get the cover out. This is the other mic, and I hope that we can get better audio. We will try. I'm worried about that. I hope that tomorrow we're doing another live stream, so I hope that at some point I'll fix it. So yeah, I'm gonna read some commentaries. We're live streaming to both channels, Bitcoin Plus Plus and my own LUNATICOIN on YouTube. Great. So, gonna go grab someone and some coffee. Be back in 2-3 minutes.
I actually got to run back to the hotel. You said you can be there tomorrow? Yeah. Is there someone talking to one of them? Is there a bad time tomorrow? Is it live?
It's live already. Okay. We have Max in the house. I'm coming in a second, Max.
Hijacking the party. Don't see myself yet, but I guess it's live. Welcome to the BTC++ live desk. It's a cool desk. And really nice that we actually have more and more...
Go to toilet,
Sure.
Kind of human needs.
Yes. I remember we did for one of the Hacker Congress at Parlandipolis a live desk. Hackers Day is a 3-day event, and so we made a 58-hour live stream, And so I get why Luna needs to run to the toilet, because he's been sitting here for a while. Not yet 58 hours, but maybe he will, depending on how lazy he is. He should get more people involved, actually. You could become a co-host of this desk, and this way get more engagement. That definitely helps. So I guess let's see if there's any interesting comments. Lots of them are in Spanish, and my Spanish is not the best. So I guess, so much for the comment section. We have here now, at the moment, we started the hackathon. So people are gonna build some cool stuff. And it's a sprint hackathon, so you only have 2 hours time to come up with the actual demo. And that is a lot of work. So I'm really curious what will be the outcome of it. There's a quite high density of people here. So definitely come stop by a BTC++ event and join the hacking. Even if you're not so technical, it's definitely worth. First of all, you level up your technical capabilities, but then also you get to meet great people. And you can contribute to Freedom Tech without being super technical. So there's actually a separate prize in this hackathon for newbies to Freedom Tech and Bitcoin contributions. So you get extra prize money if you show up as a newbie. That's solid. So yeah, definitely worth it. Come check it out. I must say the food here, one of the best at the events. Really excellent meat. So that was nice. I'm not sure if Luna actually managed to eat something.
No.
Well, here, no. So he has totally missed the food. Maybe I'll bring you a plate after this one.
It's okay. No need.
Yeah.
So what were you telling them?
About the organization of this event,
Okay.
and how cool it is, and what we're building here, and how much work you're having.
Look, I mean, have you opened BitChat here?
No, not yet. 13 people. That's
Now, yeah.
close to the record.
Best commentary, the last one, BitConnect. BitConnect! Yeah.
That was a good thing.
Okay, so Max, privacy edition.
Yes. Finally, is this the first one? I think it's the first privacy edition. There was an eCash edition before.
Don't play with the mic too far because
Yeah.
apparently it's not sounding very loud.
Okay.
And we wanna
Keeping it close.
Yes, keeping it.
Sure.
So, privacy edition. You wanna talk about this? Your book about privacy?
Yeah, I guess we can start with that. I promised to write a book like 5 years ago.
Okay.
Even got some donations for it, and then I rug pulled everyone.
Okay.
And didn't write anything.
So you're a scammer.
For a long time, exactly. But now that changed, so I'm officially no longer
No
a scammer.
anymore.
I still owe some people signed copies of the book, since we haven't printed anything yet.
Okay.
I can give them a PGP signature or Nasser signature of the PDF. But yeah, the book is titled The Praxeology of Privacy. The reason is I'm actually an economist, not a techie guy. Right? So my first love, my first
So you
rabbit
study
hole.
economy. So
Yeah. I mean,
You finish or Bitcoin kidnapped you before?
kind of both.
Okay.
I went to university for economics and banking. I learned nothing valuable about economics or banking there.
Yeah.
It was just all Keynesian crap. And even before then, I fell down hard the Austrian economics rabbit hole. So that was more self-taught or just reading a bunch on Mises.org. And then discovered Bitcoin too, finally, as the solution to all the problems that economics talks about. And then I fell down the cypherpunk rabbit hole, arguably even harder. And so these two different rabbit holes are not talking enough to each other, I would say. Like a lot of people got introduced to both economics and cypherpunk after discovering Bitcoin, but a lot of the OG economists don't understand Bitcoin. They don't understand cryptography. They don't understand software. And a lot of the Bitcoiners have no idea about economics, and they make bold claims about economics that usually are not actually correct or proper. And so this book is an attempt to synthesize both of these traditions.
Okay, so because it's the title again?
The Praxeology of Privacy.
Okay, but now you mentioned more about this bridge between economists and Bitcoiners.
Yeah.
Why privacy in the title then?
It's not that much about Bitcoiners, it's about cypherpunks, I would say.
Okay.
It's about crypto anarchy and economics, right? So what is the underlying economic logic of privacy? Right, so, for example, one of the seminal works in Austrian economics is, in regards to ideas and software, is Against Intellectual Property Rights by Stefan Kinsella.
Oh,
right,
yeah.
and this book lays out that information is not scarce, that if you cannot own knowledge, because introducing ownership of ideas means that you're actually stealing physical scarce resources from other people. Like if I would say that, hey, the words that I'm saying, I own them, nobody else can use them without my permission, then I'm literally stealing the computer that people are watching this video on right now, because I tell you that you cannot use your computer to listen to my...
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's nonsensical, obviously, right? But still, cypherpunks want to create something like property rights in cyberspace. I mean, most obviously, we want to have digital money.
Yeah.
For digital money, you need to have possession. Like, I have the coin, you don't have it. If I give it to you, I don't have it anymore, right? This double spending protection, basically. These things that feel like ownership rights, but are completely expressed in code and speech. And so the realization in the book is that although ideas themselves are non-scarce and cannot have ownership, the revelation of ideas, access right control, right, coordination of information, this is where actual property rights come in. Right, so I would say that you homestead your private key, right? You claim it out of the openness of cyberspace, you homestead and then you own this particular private key, and you have the scarce and exclusive choice on whom to tell this private key next. Right, and if someone else copies your private key without you wanting it, he's actually taking that property right away from you, because now you no longer have the ability to choose when to reveal this private key, because someone else did it for you. And so this is basically part of starting this way of using what was originally established in Austrian economics, specifically from Stefan Kinsella, and then apply this more and more to the cypherpunk philosophy and writings that was done.
I was talking about Stefan Kinsella not long ago with a Spanish Bitcoiner, an OG, Miguel Vidal. I say hi from here. But this is interesting. And did you go to any conclusion that you didn't expect?
I didn't expect of how fundamental privacy is. Like, I don't think that
to economy.
To economy, yeah. I don't think, or I think praxeology depends on privacy. So Ludwig von Mises points out the human action axiom, right? Of humans act deliberately, right? It's not just behavior, it's purposeful action. And in order to have this purpose, you need to have privacy. Right? If you for yourself come up with the ideas of what do you want to do, and you don't have perfect privacy there, then someone else can plant ideas in your head that no longer reflect your actual purposeful decision that you made.
Yeah, it's like self-censorship in a way.
Exactly, yes. And this leads to a calculation problem, right? Like, if we don't have ownership rights, then we don't have exchange, then we don't have prices, then we don't know how to allocate our scarce resources. That's why socialism fails, because they don't know what to build, right? And I would argue in this book that privacy, without privacy, we have no ownership in the realm of ideas, right? And this means we don't have the ownership in the actual actions that we do, and therefore, quite similarly to Mises's calculation inside why socialism doesn't work, I would argue that a free economy cannot work without privacy, right? So we don't have exchange, we don't have genuine action, we don't have real prices if we don't have strong privacy guarantees for individuals.
Yeah, even when you mentioned before that you wrote this book and you explained me a little bit about it, I also did this exercise in my head, like what is this connection of privacy and economy? And for me, it reminded me to a talk of Giacomo, I don't know, 2-3 years ago in Baltic, Honey Badger, that he mentioned something, he was talking about money and KYC.
Yeah.
And he said a sentence that I keep on reposting from time to time, that the reason for money to exist is to not need to know your customer.
Exactly.
So basically, as money being the atomic unit of an economy, what makes an economy flourish, because it allows it to make it faster, and the interactions, money appeared in the moment that you overgrow the number of interactions, of people, so that you cannot know everybody who you are interacting with That's why you need something so neutral like gold to not needing to trust anybody. So yeah, in the scale that we are using economy nowadays, in a world scale of economy, privacy, at least in money, should be like the default. And I believe a lot of the problems we have is because some actors are trying to not make it the default. And we all experience all the friction that this is bringing us.
Exactly, and so the book argues that KYC, the Bank Secrecy Act, and all of these different interventions are triangular interventions in the free market, as Rothbard would say. And they basically force entrepreneurs to go against their customers and do stuff that neither of them actually wants. Right? And this introduces an insane amount of inefficiency, of wasted capital, and ultimately of a loss for humanity. Right? And that a private system where individuals can choose what to reveal and when to whom would lead to a much more careful and accurate allocation of resources depending on what actual individuals prefer.
You just mentioned that in the book appears KYC and the Bank Secrecy Act. This is crazy. If I recommend whoever is interested in this topic to start scratching the surface of about Bank Secrecy Act, they will jump then from the 70s, they will jump to the 13, I believe 1913, to this, it was a war law against the spies. And I don't remember the name of it, but it's crazy that our banking nowadays works based on war laws and Bank Secrecy Act, which is there are many laws that have a name that basically do the opposite. It's kind of Orwell, no? The peace ministry, it was the war ministry. So it's crazy topic. But this is also very hot now on Twitter because of yesterday's sentence to Roman Storm. He had 3 counts. First, money laundering. Second, acting as an unlicensed money service business. And what was the third one?
Violation of sanctions.
Yeah, violation of sanctions. So he got free of the first and the third, but he got guilty. He was found guilty of the second. So by creating Tornado Cash, which is a smart contract that runs forever, meanwhile Ethereum keeps on existing, by writing that code, he is guilty to be an unlicensed money transmitter. This is also affecting the Samurai case, which surprisingly last week we saw that they wanted to change their plea, both of them, and they accepted to be guilty of this count. How do you see all this?
It's a continuation of a trend that's been going on for centuries, right, or decades at least. That freedom fighters have a tough time when negotiating with the slavers and the terrorists, right? There is a massive demand to keep people transparent and to not allow a free market to flourish. Right? So the crypto wars, so to say, have always been ongoing, and they never really de-escalated. There were some minor wins, with PGP, for example, also in court, right? But ultimately, on so many things, especially for financial privacy, this has never stopped, and it will continue to get worse. Obviously, the government is in the wrong here, right? And continues its rampage of theft and misery, and I don't think it's gonna stop anytime soon. That is what it is. Thieves are going to steal. That's what they do by definition. And governments are going to spy. And so this will continue. But the good thing is that there is a fundamental logic to human action, and including privacy, right? Which the book points out. They're kind of fighting against the wind. There's simply, you cannot shoot a math formula. One of the sayings from the crypto wars. And that this traditional force that they apply is simply not a match for the decentralized market of privacy entrepreneurs that build technologies to keep people secure. Right? Individuals will get taken down, kidnapped, tortured, and killed. This will continue to happen. But ultimately the work will continue to proliferate. So yeah, it's sad, but it's not the end of it.
How do you see this evolving? Because if it stays like this, basically all Bitcoin developers, when they are more on the wallet side, when they are more on the node running side of things, they probably will be very afraid to keep on producing code.
Yeah.
So if this stays like this, but then Roman apparently was happy after the sentence because he said that he's going to appeal, and he feels confident to win this still. How do you see this? One way or another, or both?
Both. And I guess the odds are in our favor simply because we build way faster than they prosecute. I mean, when did the whole Tornado Cash shit show start? That's 3 years ago.
Yeah, but you know it in your experience that a lot of people, the moment that these kind of things happen, they will stop working. You did that. And many people left US at the time. Some of them are back now. But are we going back to Satoshi times? Like, are we recovering this anonymity that he had for everyone? Do you think that this is going to be a thing, like more anonymous dEPs?
Absolutely, right? The tendency is towards that, and the anonymity technologies continue to progress at a rapid rate, right? We still have a lot of bottlenecks in the current developer pipeline. GitHub, for example. Try to create an anonymous GitHub account. Good fucking luck. But we have solutions, right? We have Noster, we have the Git workbook or Git workshop, something like this. A Noster client for communicating about Git repositories, doing pull requests, issues, comments, etc. We have more and more tools to actually build software anonymously. Plus, we have things like AI coming along now, where even non-developers can create code that actually works. So I only see the scale of new privacy tech being built to escalate. Even if the number of developers would decrease, by the fact that we've accumulated more capital, we will now be able to produce new code vastly cheaper and faster and more direct than before. So yes, a lot of people will stop the fight simply because of the risk is perceived to be too high. And they're probably right. I mean, it's an incredibly dangerous business to be in. Not privacy tech specifically, like any freedom tech. Like, if you're working on Bitcoin, you have a gigantic target on your back. You are at risk for your life. You might not know it, but you're being watched, you're being surveilled, and there's active malicious intent to try to stop your project. That is 100% true for any serious freedom tech that reaches even a small scale. Right? There's an almost unlimited budget to infiltrate and to stop these technologies from happening. From not just one entity, it's not just the US that makes trouble here. It's literally every country, every secret service, right, that has a skin in the game to stop this from happening. But freedom is a strong bedrock to build upon, and truth is solid ground to make your stand. So I'm quite bullish. Like, as dark as these last couple years have been, as much darker as it will be in the future, I think that the power of light and truth and cryptography and freedom tech is just so much stronger than what they can do.
I want to release you from this kidnap that I did, but two more questions. First is, I read you a lot lately on Noster. You're very bullish, you just mentioned it. In what are you bullish in Noster related to privacy? Because we know that from the protocol point of view, Noster is not a privacy tech. It's in fact quite bad, leaking IPs to relays, so you need a little bit of knowledge and protection, not very hard. But on what privacy-related projects are you bullish on Noster?
Well, first of all, bullish on the privacy of Noster per se. Okay. For certain aspects of it, specifically identity generation. Right? If you want to create a new Noster account, you don't have to connect to any other server, you don't need to ask for permission, you simply create a private key and that's it. Right? So that alone is a massive privacy improvement.
Permissionless, no?
Yeah. So identity generation is fully anonymous now. Let's put it like that, right? And then sure, Nostr is mainly made for publishing events, right, which inherently means you're revealing something to the world, right? But that's a choice now that you can make, and you don't have to, obviously, right? Nostr is also made perfect for lurker accounts that just read and don't write. In fact, I've been wanting a Nostr client that specializes in the reading experience without making any publishing. Yeah, exactly. You can do some really great designs with that you could never do on Instagram, Reddit, whatever. So on that, I'm super bullish. In the details of making sure that you are private in Nostr on a holistic stack, there's a lot of room for improvements. A real simple one is just use a VPN. Right? It would be much better if network level privacy would be implemented in the client side. So I'd encourage developers to integrate Tor or mixnets like NIM, and not just use it stupidly, but actually use it smart. Look into how, for example, Wasabi did network level privacy. For each API call, we created a new Tor circuit through the Tor network with a different exit IP. So even if you talk to the same server, in the Nostr case the relay, and you want to download the events of different people, you don't want the relay to know that one person is asking for Alice and Bob's content. So you create two Tor routes. One is asking for Alice, second Tor route is asking for Bob. Now you have to worry a bit about timing attacks, and the rabbit hole goes deep, but there is quite a lot of existing work that can be done there. Right? And then one of the major privacy fuck-ups in early Nostr is direct messaging. Right? That's not just is the encryption broken in theory, like you could leak private key material, it also leaks a bunch of metadata, right? Like who is messaging whom, when, roughly how long are the messages, all of the timing is public to anyone, right? Not just server administrators, but literally anyone. This can be managed a little bit if you have authentication to relays for downloading messages, right? Only if you own the NSEC can you download direct messages. Some relays implement this, that's great. Or then at least not everyone can read this, but the server administrator, the relay operator, he still can. So it would be much better if we have a way to express private communications without trusting the server administrator of keeping us private. And this is where, again, encryption comes in. And specifically, the Messaging Layer Security Protocol, MLS, is a modern implementation and protocol for direct and group messages that scales into the millions of participants. And it's a well-audited, well-reviewed standard from the IETF that focuses specifically on how does a group of people come up with a private key to encrypt our messages to, and how do we keep rotating this private key so that if any one of us loses or compromises that private key and it becomes public, that not all of the past and future message history can be decrypted. Right? So this protocol solves it excellently. The only downside to it is complexity. It's a crazy, crazy complex protocol with so many nuances that I definitely don't understand all of it.
But is it complex because of how the protocol is built, or is using advanced cryptography kind of like I'm missing a word here. But yeah, zero knowledge and so on.
I guess a bit of both. I mean, the actual encryption, I think, is just AES, so that's rather well established. But it does use, tree structures to come up with a key and derivations. Yeah. So the specification itself is like 170 pages, right? PDF. So it's a lot. I mean, a lot of this is actually test cases and things like this. So they try to make it as easy for you to implement this from scratch. And there are multiple independent libraries that implement the protocol.
Okay.
And you as a client developer will not need to implement the protocol. You will simply use the library that does implement it in your programming language. And so our contribution to this is to apply MLS to Nostr so that MLS comes up with a key to encrypt messages to and how to rotate this, right? But what is completely out of scope for MLS is the identity layer. Right? So MLS is kind of designed that you have a central server that says, hey, this phone number belongs to this user, kind of like Signal does it. But they made sure that it can be used in a decentralized federated system as well. And in Nostr's case, we don't have identity servers. Everyone is his own identity server, basically, where you create a private key, you publish metadata signed with the private key saying that, hey, this is my name, this is the user picture, etc. So identity layer is fixed by Nostr out of the box for free, basically. And the second thing that we do is deliver encrypted messages over Nostr. Right, so message delivery is also not specified or scoped in MLS. You can do it via HTTP, via WebSockets, on a centralized server, on a federated system, on a purely peer-to-peer basis, via BitChat or something like this. Completely out of scope. And so we basically add the Nostr flavor on top of MLS for identities and for message delivery.
Okay.
And we get so much solved out of the box that it's not even funny. So Nostr and MLS are a perfect fit. And yeah, so I'm really bullish on the scope of encrypted messaging on Nostr.
White noise.
White noise is the flagship application of this. Right? And however, we are gonna, or we already have a bunch of libraries to make sure that other clients implement this as well. Right, so Primal, Damos, Amethyst, Iris, a long list of developers are actively looking into how to integrate this into their clients. We're a little bit too early. We still have more foundational library work to do before that will happen. But it will, right? It's a pretty clear path on how we can achieve private group messaging in Nostr. And then the cool thing is this is not just for chat. We literally put Nostr events into the encrypted envelope. And so it works for all of the Nostr NIPs, basically. And so one of my favorite use cases for this is I want to, for example, share my location. I want to tell people, hey, I'm going to this event, come meet up for beer or whatever, right? But I don't want to make this public for anyone to see. And I want only that the people whom I follow, people whom I trust, to be able to read this. And so what I can do quite easily is create a new group, invite all of my friends to this encrypted group. Only I have write access to this group, and I can post my event saying, hey, I'm here.
So it would be like a Telegram channel, but private.
Exactly, yep.
With the people you really want to be in that channel.
Yep.
And read only for them.
Yep.
And post also for you.
Exactly, yes. And so you basically create a private feed, right? You have the exact same Nostr experience, all of the posts, short form, long form, zaps, likes, replies, reposts.
That's still the same.
All of it, right? We just put it in an encrypted envelope, and now only your friends can read it. Right?
That's amazing. Really looking forward to starting with white noise and whatever has to bring us. I downloaded the first version of white noise, waiting for the second.
It's quite buggy still.
Yeah.
But guys are hacking. No, I see them standing around here, so they're not doing much work. But they will hopefully soon. Maybe tomorrow or the day after we'll have the next release.
Okay.
And that might fix a lot of things.
We will invite them to do so. No,
Yes.
but last thing, a book. You just mentioned your book. Where can people read it?
Yeah, go to towardsliberty.com/pop. Praxeology of Privacy. Yeah, that's catchy.
Okay.
You get the PDF of the book. I think it's like 300 pages, round about that. There's a summary of the book. Basically, each chapter has a summary, and I've put all those summaries together in a separate PDF.
Okay.
That's like 6 pages or something. There's also a text-to-speech friendly PDF without the footnotes and page numbering, etc.
Okay.
Plus the markdown files. So all of this is public domain. Please give me feedback.
Okay.
This is version 0.1.0. Like,
so you don't consider it finished?
It's definitely not finished. There's a lot of errors in it. I already got some amazing feedback, and I'll need to rewrite a lot of it. Because writing a book is hard, man, especially if you want to be rigorous about it.
Yeah.
So I will eventually come out with 0.2 and eventually 1.0, and that will then be printed properly, and I'll do the audiobook. So that will be nice. Oh, yeah. A Lodging of Wayfaring Men is in the footnotes for this book as well.
Beautiful. And I wanted to ask you if you can recommend, or if you would recommend, we're still in summer, so people are still reading stuff. If you believe there should be, aside of your book, an interesting read connected with cypherpunks, privacy, Bitcoin.
Yeah, definitely A Lodging of Wayfaring Men.
Una posada para caminantes in Spanish.
Exactly. I'm super happy that we finally have the Spanish translation. By the way, just now we sent to the printer the 3rd definitive edition of A Lodging of Wayfaring Men with illustrations. So that is coming very soon. some minor changes to the text, not
Great.
too much, but the illustrations is the main thing. It will be a beautiful hardcover. So that's happening. I think I have like 20 or 30 pages of footnotes in my book, which is like kind of my personal reading recommendations.
Okay.
Okay, so on the economic side, Man, Economy and State and Power and Markets by Murray Rothbard. That's like, if you read one book about economics, it's this. It's all-encompassing. It's almost everything correct. You will learn so much about economics in this much book.
Okay.
Then Against Intellectual Property, already brought up. That's like the intro of how do Austrians think about software and
The
code.
Stefan Kinsella one.
Exactly. The Second Realm, a book on strategy by Smuggler. It is the follow-up on A Lodging of Wayfaring Men.
Okay.
And it is much more practical, right? On how do we actually create a free society today? How do we
Is it up to date, do you think?
It was written in 2013 or something, so it already does mention Bitcoin. It could probably use a second edition, actually. Probably not going to happen, but someone could pick it up, I guess, and do that. Then there's another... Oh, there's so many good books to recommend. There is two nice short stories to read. There's the Aristocracy of Action and the Declaration of Separation. Both of these are somewhat in tandem, that explain the Declaration of Separation is a manifesto of productive people opting out of slavery.
Okay.
And the Aristocracy of Action highlights that in order to join this movement, you don't need to ask for permission, you don't need to ask to be a part of it. Simply act, be courageous, act freely.
Just do.
And you're in. Like, it's quite simple. It's a meritocracy in the best sense of the word.
Yeah. Like creating a private key in Nostr.
Yeah, exactly.
Just do it.
Yep. Oh, there is a new book about Nostr actually by Huddlebot called Building Nostr, I think. I only briefly started reading it. It's great though. So that's very much recommended if you want to learn more about Nostr.
That's right.
And how to build on it. There is Alongside Night. Very interesting, underread book. I forgot the name of the author, but it basically is about freedom fighters developing their underground economy and underground hideouts where they have anonymous marketplaces that cannot be penetrated.
Real cases.
No, this is a fictionalized
Fiction,
book.
okay.
Yeah. Definitely worth a read. True Names is another great short story, trippy as fuck.
An old, very old.
Like 70s or something, yeah. Oh, speaking of the 70s, and also mentioned in my book, is VONU, The Search for Personal Freedom. VONU stands for Voluntary Not Vulnerable. It establishes actionable metrics of success for how free are you, and how can we increase these metrics strategically.
A lot of people is using Twitter to tell somebody else if they have high or low IQ. Is another metric. So this venue is it's a metric to get to know how free you are, to evaluate yourself.
Exactly.
Nice.
So the metric that he comes up is called the mean time to harassment. In other words, when was the last time you were stolen from or interfered with, right? And depending on how strictly you define stolen from, you realize that you're a slave. Because when was the last time you drove in a car? You needed a license for that. You needed a registration for that, right? When was the last time you paid taxes? Right? When you bought bubble gum on the street and you paid VAT, right? So the actual harassment happens almost every minute, right? But there is ways, and the author did that, to increase this number into months. And he was a radical, so he identified like having a driving license as an intervention. Right?
What's the name of it again?
VONU, The Search for Personal Freedom by Rayo, an anonymous author. From the 70s, right? And he talks about encrypted radio mesh networks, right? So he predicted BitChat like 50 years ago. Real visionary. Totally underread book as well. There's so much more. Crypto economics, the fundamental principles of Bitcoin. My book heavily leans on top of that.
Crypto economics, I was talking with Arcad the other day about it, because with all this what we're seeing in the States and this trial to Roman Storm and Samurai coming up, it kind of feels like the honeymoon phase is finishing completely. Yeah. You know, there was maybe some feeling with Trump getting elected. No, the honeymoon can continue. Nah, it's the opposite. It feels like it's just the cover and it's the wolf dressed as a sheep, and
things will get worse.
And we are in the next phase 2, black market.
Yeah.
And then we will have people going into treasuries, companies, and filling Bitcoin lovers or Bitcoiners. And there will be the other ones who will have to use black markets or use it as a black market tool if they want to still experience the freedom.
Yeah, absolutely. And the good thing is we have choice, right? We are not forcing the system on top of anyone. You don't have to use it. You don't have to be free. Keep doing what you do, right? It's just that a lot of us actually do want to be free.
Yeah.
And we're going to take those.
You can get addicted to freedom in a way. No, it's true.
It's so true.
It's the moment when you don't experience freedom, you don't know you need it. You experience a bit and you feel so good. You want a bit more, and you want a bit more. And it happened to me. Then you look at yourself, like who you were 5 years ago.
Yeah. That escalated quickly.
That escalated quickly. And of course, you don't want that. You don't want to accept that slavery anymore, that degree of slavery. You're still a slave, but in another degree.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's hard to go back. I believe that this is like 1984, this kind of thoughts that Winston has constantly about how he feels a slave and how he has to hide himself from writing even. Yeah, I believe that going back to that would feel a little bit like being Winston.
Yes, and also like Cypher from The Matrix. He wants to forget that the stake is fake. He just wants to enjoy it, right? Just put me back into the Matrix. I don't want to deal with this shit anymore. Because it's depressing and exhausting to realize the extent of the shit fuckery that is happening.
It is surprising, and it really... I think that you have phases. You experience different phases when you start to be free. And there is one phase that you're scared, you're pissed, you feel that there is no hope. Well, what to do? Because this is not like Matrix that you can go back and just remove memories and be a normie and I don't know anything. No, you cannot forget.
Yeah.
So there is only one way forward.
Yeah. And that's why I appreciate the cypherpunk so much, because I was an economist before I was a cypherpunk, right? And I understood the evils of inflation, the evils of intervention into the market, and how earth-shattering the consequences of such intervention is. But I didn't see a solution to it. Right? Gold doesn't work, not in the digital age. Right? And Austrian economists showed the issue. They showed how in theory it would be better, but they failed to provide a practical, actionable guide on how are we actually going to manifest freedom in our lifetime. And that's depressing as fuck. Right? You realize the extent of the problem, and there's no way out of it. So that was my most depressive phase of life, just before discovering the cypherpunks. Right? Because the cypherpunks go like, yeah, it's messed up, but we just ship code, right? And then we use that code, and we infuse our ethos of liberty into the programs and the products that we're developing, and then we ship them to 8 billion people without asking for permission. And then we see what happens, right? And 40 years later, turns out we can change the world with that on an actual, meaningful way. Right? Now, yes, systems of slavery have advanced as well and can utilize the technologies equally, but ultimately, the cypherpunk dream is reached. Like, if you go back 40 years ago and you see what cypherpunks were talking about back then, what they wanted to achieve, and you check today, what is the technologies that we have? We have anonymous communication for permissionless infrastructure to send messages and posts to anyone. We have anonymous money that cannot be inflated, that cannot be confiscated, cannot be counterfeited. We have computers in everyone's pocket that are powerful enough to handle the most sophisticated cryptography and zero-knowledge proofs. We have anonymous reputation systems. We have dispute resolution mechanisms. We have escrows. We have web of trusts. Like, it's unreal what a handful of people have accomplished in the last 40 years. Like, we're not a majority at any stretch of the imagination. We're like 0.00001%, right? But look at what we did. And that starts a flywheel of, I mean, people like you and me, like before we really got into Bitcoin or cypherpunk, we didn't care as much about this. But then we got exposure to these technologies and we see that freedom is possible. You can feel it in your gut that this is something special. And then there is no way of going back, right? And you get radicalized ultimately.
You said that we didn't matter a lot about this. I believe that everybody here was a little bit like Neo in Matrix, in this speech that Morfeo gives him, that let me tell you why you're here. No? You're here because you feel something.
Exactly.
That something's wrong with the world. And I believe that everybody, you are an economist, you were maybe more an economist, now you are a cypherpunk. I was an architect. And doesn't matter which field you were in, we all felt that there was something wrong with the world.
Yeah.
And without a way out. And we found a way out.
Yeah.
We found the matrix, we found Satoshi's creation, and here we are. So yeah, it's hard times, but it's the most, it's the time that we have the strongest tool of hope and empowerment. So let's use it.
Absolutely. And it's like just building on the freedom tech is the most exhilarating thing imaginable. You know, because, I mean, yes, it's risky, but at least you go to Valhalla, basically, you know? It's like, I couldn't imagine a better way to spend my time other than...
Oh, it feels fully useful every second of every day. I suppose it's the same with you. You have a ton of to-do lists that you put. Nobody's asking you to do it. It's what you want to do, what you want to learn, and it's an endless amount of things, and it feels amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and it just shows that contributions are possible, even as a non-developer, right? Neither you or me write a line of code, but we can still be useful, right? So you don't need to be a specialist in anything. You just need to have the dedication of picking up a load of work that needs to be done and do it. Yeah. Again, the aristocracy of action. You can just do things. And we can just help humanity end the system of slavery.
Yeah. Max, what are two last questions, huh? They were longer than the other before, I believe. Thank you for joining. I'm gonna go kidnap someone else and I free you.
Nice. I'll try to kick someone into your direction.
Sure.
I got something out of my calendar to come here.
Okay.
Ah, yeah? Okay,
nice.
So come.
So there it is. Go ahead, Alex. Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Alex.
How are you?
Good. Nice to come. You know what? People watching us don't know about this, but there were plenty of calendar invites sent yesterday to many people for you to know that this is happening and that you should come and join us.
Yep.
You're the first one who came. No, the second one. Being honest, you're the second one. Yeah. So that's great. I'm gonna, before we start, I'm gonna leave you for a second because I believe that this beauty is gonna run out of battery. Okay. So we need somebody to plug a power bank in it. But yeah, you can. The audience is yours, so you can introduce yourself.
The audience is mine.
Yeah,
it's a lot of power.
Yeah. I'll be back in a second.
Sounds good. Hello, audience. How are you enjoying the conference so far? It's incredibly lively here. Everybody just ate lunch, and the hackathon is ongoing. It kicked off at 1:15 Riga time, so it's been going for about half an hour so far. It looks like the vast majority of participants are involved in the hackathon. The vast majority of people are competing, so the hope is to have many projects. So
we figured it out.
Amazing.
So, did you have a talk today? Or you're gonna have it?
Yeah, so my thing or my obligation is going on right now. I help Nifty run the hackathon.
Okay. How is things? Because I saw that there is plenty of events happening on the hackathon, like on the schedule, the presentation, ideas, and so on. How is the situation now? Is it happening already or not?
Yeah, so we kicked off about half an hour ago. So there was some lead up of helping people come up with ideas and get organized so that they can be more successful. But currently people are hacking.
Okay.
Yeah, so for the next 90 minutes, people will be working on their projects. and then after that we'll do the judging expo where people present to judges.
Okay. Do you know when was last Bitcoin Plus Plus?
Yes, the last one was in Austin.
But when?
In July, I want to say.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's not long ago. I'm asking this because two things. First of all, this is privacy edition, so I suppose that the projects are focused into the privacy field.
Yeah, so it's an open-ended hackathon, so anything involving Bitcoin is fair game, but you get bonus points if it's privacy related.
Okay. And you also gave ideas about what they can do. The ideas also were privacy related, I suppose?
So we have a few different challenges, but we don't give people specific ideas to work on. So there's a challenge that's like best use of cryptography. There's another challenge that's best censorship resistance hack. Okay. But it's still very broad. It's up to the hackers to come up with their ideas.
Okay. And the second thing I wanted to ask you is because we are in the middle of the vibe coding frenzy. Like everybody's talking about vibe coding. I was listening to Kalle talk about how he ported BitChat to Android thanks to the AIs, no, the LLMs. How is it here? Do you make people or push people to use these tools? Are they also present here, or how is it?
Well, okay, so typically hackathons are 24 hours or 36 hours.
Okay.
Now, with AI tools, we can make hackathons that are 2 hours. Wow. So our hackathon today is 2 hours long, and the expectation is that you're using AI tools.
Okay, so 2 hours,
yeah.
and then because tomorrow there is something, or is only review and judge and so on?
Yeah, so the actual hacking is only 2 hours. Then later today we have a judging expo where finalists will be selected, and then the finalists present on stage tomorrow.
Wow. But and since when is this happening? Since when the hackathons managed to go this short?
We tried this for the first time around South by Southwest. Are you familiar with South by Southwest? No. It's a massive conference in Austin.
Okay.
So we had a side event where we did, we called it a turbo hackathon.
Okay.
And yeah, it was 2 hours long and it went incredibly well. And yeah, we've been looking for an opportunity to do this at a conference and put it like in the middle of the day.
Okay. So is this the first turbo hackathon happening in Bitcoin Plus Plus?
Yeah, at a conference, yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, people have been doing this for maybe 6-8 months. Yeah.
And people coming here to the conference, they have to prepare in advance, or they are able to set everything up here?
Yeah, no, the expectation is that they start when they get here. You're not allowed to get a head start.
I mean, I was thinking more about like setting up the whole AI thing.
Yeah, well, it's easy to set up. You could just go to a website and then build a project. You go to a website and there's a text box for you to describe your project. You hit go and then it spits out the project.
ChatGPT.
Exactly, it's ChatGPT, but it spits out a whole project. In the hackathon kickoff, we were telling people the rules and the judging criteria. We did a demo of how to use these tools, and we used a tool called bolt.new. We typed in a prompt for a project, and on stage it spat out a fully working project.
Wow. And what about, because I suppose that, of course, they are more like checking mistakes or more, because, yeah, this can do everything, but I suppose it's buggy,
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be, it's something that looks kind of working, and it's like a working prototype. If there's anything hard, the AI will mock it out and just like fake it. They'll show you like the UI for it, but it won't actually be doing anything in the background.
Okay.
So like if I say describe or make me a messaging app, it'll make the UI for it, and then when you hit like send messages, it just won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't necessarily all work, but it's.
But it's helping. It's doing the heavy work or a lot of.
Yeah, for like a demo, like it gets you to the point
MVP,
where you can.
huh?
Exactly. Yeah.
Great.
Maybe proof of concept. Yeah, it's like not quite viable, but it's proof of concept. Yeah.
And do you know already some of the projects that are, or some of the ideas that people participating is trying to achieve?
I haven't heard about too many ideas. I heard somebody's making a Telegram bot to do something to maybe process like eCash payments. Yeah, no, I need to figure out what everybody's working on. I have no idea what people are working
maybe
on.
Tomorrow we can know a little bit more.
Yeah, in a few hours.
I can invite you again to know how things have went after today and what are the ideas that we have. But Alex, it was great to have you and to know about this new I love the concept Turbo Hackathon.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Pleasure having me on.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow
Yep.
with what happened today.
Awesome. Cheers.
Okay. Wait.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Do we need? We can keep on going, no? And welcome.
I think. Do you have a USB? This might have.
What is this? What do we need?
You need battery?
Yes.
Okay. Is it for this?
Yes.
Okay.
Will it?
Looks like I don't know if it'll. Or if you have a longer cable.
No.
I think you can do that.
No. I hope it doesn't. It shouldn't fall. Tape maybe.
Oh wait, maybe. Or this. Yeah.
If nobody touches it, it will.
Do you stop recording between?
Because no, it's good. We're live, so.
So that's charging.
I believe it's not mine.
Okay.
So, finger crossed. Oh, maybe we can just unplug and
See if it changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It feels.
Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
So thank you.
Cheers. Yeah, I'm Murphy. I'm in the main stage.
Great.
Live stream.
Okay. So like I'm Luna.
Okay.
With the live desk, and when we finish, I'll get back.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm in. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I'm in the.
Okay. So amazing this that we can do hackathons in 2 hours now. We have now, I believe, I hope, that the power bank can handle the consumption of the camera. So we're good to keep on going. I'm gonna go invite somebody else. And yeah, I'll be back. Just a second.
Yes. I hate it.
Really? This is for you. Mike apparently is not working great in volume, so as close as you can.
Right
and
up
also you have a lot of protection. So I believe that what you just said, I like this as a start. Like somebody, you act like me, we put some kind of disguise when we are on camera, and you said that nevertheless somebody recognized you? How was that?
I've had a few people recognize me by my voice, just talking loudly.
Yeah.
It's actually the first Bitcoin meetup I ever went to in person. I only knew like 2 people there personally, and I was just standing around talking to them, and somebody like walked past and just like stops, freezes, like, Shinobi?
Yeah, yeah. I had something to me happen not long ago, which never happened before. That is a family member of mine, of my family, was with friends, and they were talking about life and so on, and then Bitcoin appeared, and then a friend of this family member said, yeah, I was watching a podcast of this guy, who happens to be me, and my family member was like, okay, yeah, tell me more. So yeah. The circles gets smaller and smaller. The most you show yourself. Shinobi, Bitcoin Plus Plus Privacy Edition. Look at us.
Yep. It's kind of funny though. Everyone on the other side of the camera is not wearing any type of mask or face covering.
Yeah, I mean, and some people is coming here without masks nevertheless. So I wanted to ask you. Are you talking? Are you here just?
No, I'm just here to cover things for Bitcoin Magazine.
Have you seen any talk already?
Yeah, Elias from Spiral gave a really good breakdown of the current state of the Lightning Network privacy, like just comprehensively from like the sender and receiver's perspective, routing nodes that might try to spy in like the middle of a payment path, and then autonomous system operators and ISPs. So the people who actually are running like the backbone networks that traffic is crossing on the internet, and like how kind of private or not private Lightning is in each of those contexts, considering those specific adversaries. It is a really well done talk.
Yeah, it's complicated. I had before here Claudia from NIM, and basically she was saying the same. Like, it depends. Like, if a state actor wants to know your activity, is easy for them, and so yeah, you have to be aware at least of it and to act accordingly.
Yeah, privacy is very much a dynamic of how much resources or like how much money somebody trying to de-anonymize you has to throw at the problem. And at the end of the day, like, all you can really do is create a higher cost for somebody to actually like de-anonymize, get personal information about you. And yeah, you know, when it comes to the state, it's not like there is nothing that can be done to defend against that type of actor, but it's going to be prohibitively complicated. Like, there's always going to be edge cases you have to consider where somebody with enough resources like a state could still poke holes in things. And it's a much different game than just trying to keep yourself private from like the general public. Like, you know, like me here with this mask, like this $10, and nobody here watching this is going to be able to see my face, you know, recognize me out in public unless they've met me in person already. But like, I had to fly here on an airline. Like, I had to go through customs and show my passport. Like, there are absolutely pieces of evidence that myself, like my legal identity is here, that somebody with access to those things could see, but like all the people watching the stream can't access that thing. So it's like I'm concerning myself cheaply with like members of the general public, but like, the government snapped their finger. They know exactly what my legal name is, where I live. Like,
yeah, and I believe that with the AI tools, soon enough it will be very easy to cross different kind of content on the internet and profile your voice. Your face is harder because you're not showing much. But
actually, there's forget how long ago and what university this came out of, but you actually can, based purely on somebody's voice, reconstruct a very accurate model of their face. Like, just the structure of your vocal cords and like how that resonates through your facial structure while you're talking. Like, that is enough information to like model and recreate someone's face.
Yeah. To build on what you said before, at the end, this is what we do, these glasses, this hat, this mask, it's just protect us from let's say, I would say, normal people that doesn't want to put a euro of effort into recognizing you, but whoever wants to know a bit more, it will be easier. It will be getting easier and easier. And if you have content from you from another time on the internet with your voice, some videos of yours, it will be so easy. So it's just a protection, and I believe that we have to keep on doing it, because at least we make some people wonder, like, what are these two retards doing there with glasses, masks, and so on? Yeah, it's a good question to ask, and they should ask. They should know that privacy is important. About privacy and Bitcoin, yeah, you are really everywhere on what is Twitter and so on, so you know what's happening. Privacy in Bitcoin is always an important topic, but nowadays that we have a lot of new Bitcoiners coming in the scene because of ETFs, because of treasuries and so on, and also we see privacy advocates going to trial. We have the samurai people being judged. Roman Storm yesterday was found guilty. How do you see privacy moving on from this point?
I think we are in for a very hostile time period going forward. Like, everybody in this space, especially the newer people who've come on board because of things like ETFs and treasury companies, like, they keep trying to craft this narrative like the Trump administration is our friend, that they care about the same things we care about, and it's delusional. Like, even with the Department of Justice specifically issuing a statement, they are not going to try to regulate through prosecution. Like, they are not going to push forward prosecutions of privacy developers simply for writing software. Like, we've had Bill and Keown from Samurai last week pressured into taking a plea deal because the judge was changed in the case, and that materially, at least from what I've heard from a few lawyers familiar with that judge, like, raised the risk of them not only being convicted, but that judge is known for very harsh sentences and generally, like, tending to give the maximum sentence. And Roman being found guilty yesterday, like, how many things have to happen before people realize, like, it's actions that matter, not the words people use? Like, they're giving us this lip service that they're going to defend these things, but what they're actually doing is moving forward with persecuting them. Like, this is not going to be a good time ahead of us, and people who actually care about privacy in Bitcoin, like, we're going to need to get a lot more aggressive. Like, we should stop begging for bills to protect these things. We should be suing the government in court. Like, we already have in the US court system an established precedent that source code is free speech. Like, publishing code is your First Amendment right to free speech. We do not need new laws. We do not need new regulations. We need to take the government to court and hold them accountable to follow the existing laws that already foundationally protect these activities. And, you know, a lot of us, you're going to just have to do things anyway when they tell you that you can't do them. Like, freedom is not free. Like, you have to actually take it. You actually have to act and assert your sovereignty, your freedom. It's not going to just be given to you. And we're getting to a point where people are going to have to do that if they actually want to maintain these abilities.
Yeah, like, freedom is needs some kind a high degree of proof of work. So it's like entropy, no? It dilutes if you don't put some energy in it. So, and what I'm afraid is, we had a lot of waves of new Bitcoiners. I'm class 2017, and I believe that in that time, still the cypherpunk ethos was still quite present. But I'm afraid that the new waves coming in, of course, they get to know a lot of that, but they are coming in for other reasons, which I fully respect. Everybody does whatever they want. But there can be a moment not long in the future that the biggest majority in Bitcoin is not understanding why we need privacy. And it doesn't push the boundaries of privacy, doesn't feel necessity of upgrading, doing a soft fork that will help us be more private, like CISA, for example. So how do you see that? Are you afraid of... people use the term of Bitcoin is being kidnapped. I think that it's just Bitcoin is growing, so more people is getting in. So, but are you afraid on that we get into a complacency atmosphere of,
Yes, I think that's exactly what's happening right now. Like, people have stopped recognizing or thinking about what we're doing here as a fight, as something that we are acting towards. Like, they take for granted that we've already won, and we haven't by a long shot. Like, there is still, I could not even start to categorize and list the things that need to be fixed, that need to be improved for Bitcoin to actually have a real shot at being a decentralized money, a decentralized private money for the world. Like, we are not even close to the finishing line. And half of this space is already patting themselves on the back, acting like we finished in first and this is all done. Like, that attitude needs to change, or we are going to have a lot of problems to deal with.
I was reading The Lodging of Wayfaring Man, and I realized in that book that in Bitcoin we have graphic designers, developers, educators, a lot of things. But I realized that we need way more lawyers, way more. Because it's not only, as you said, to fight with code. We know how to do that. We do code, and for example, we have Tornado Cash in Ethereum that cannot be stopped. It's keep on going. Or we have things that get stopped, like the Samurai, but another one appears and does the same. So we can fight with code, but we need to a bit more fight, I believe, with their rules. Just, I know that they can still change the rules and they can still mess with them and make us do a lot of work for nothing. But we nevertheless need to put more proof of work there. And I feel that we are lacking on that. We need way more lawyers, like an army of lawyers.
Yeah, like I said, we need to take them to court when there are these conflicts like this, where there are insane interpretations that have no basis in law, or people are trying to apply regulations that don't apply to a specific project or person. And we need to go to court over that. We need to sue them. We need to go, you, like the government, are acting in a criminal manner, and this needs to stop. Like, this, you don't ask for permission, do things. Like, that is supposed to be the entire underlying philosophy of this ecosystem. So what happened to that?
We lost it in the way. Great, we will see what will happen, but Shinoe, thank you for joining and sharing some of your thoughts. Of course, we will keep on reading you in your always calm way of expressing your opinions. But yeah, thank you for joining.
Thanks for having me, man.
Thank you. I'm gonna kidnap somebody else.
Well, best of luck.
Yeah. Still, so far, so good?
Yeah. Are you still streaming?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're still on air. Okay, I'm gonna go find somebody else, and we keep on going. We are now 2 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. So yeah, I will try to do one or two more interviews. But just to explain what is happening, so talks keep on happening. Hackathon is also happening, as Alex explained before. Some people behind the camera is just having coffee before they ate lunch, but now it's just drinking some tea, some lemonade, coffee, and chilling and networking, which is what we really like to do in conferences. Now I'm gonna find someone, and we keep on going. And of course, tomorrow we're gonna be having the same live desk with a more packed schedule. Nevertheless, today was like a non-stop. So yeah, we will see. Coming in a second. Okay, so the good news is that everybody's hacking and everybody is creating nice stuff aside of chit-chatting and so on. The bad news is that nobody can be stopped now to come and join. So we will stop here today, and tomorrow, without hackathon and so on, I believe that we can do a longer thing with more people. But yeah, it was an amazing experience to be here live. We'll try to figure out if I can make the mics sound louder tomorrow. And yeah, looking forward to it. Now I'm gonna be interviewing, but not on this stream, people working for the hackathon. So yeah, I suppose that you'll be able to enjoy that afterwards. And yeah, that was it for the first day. I will figure it out also how to finish it because I don't know. Half of the technology we're using here is first time, but it was great to be live today. See you tomorrow. I hope you join me then.